Hi, welcome to Trappist Transfer, an actual play podcast using the Eclipse Phase RPG set in a fictional sci-fi future of Earth and humankind. Or is it fictional? This is coming to you from the future. I'm Will Blackmore, and I'll be your game master, weaving a web of intrigue for our players. Ashleen Bradley playing Truthseeker, Mark Jondal playing Comms 3, Eddie playing Kaster, and Connor Crumley playing Penelope Gray, and myself playing everyone else. Let's roll into this. It seems like the plague is slowly rolling around everywhere in Portland and abroad, I imagine. So, you know, we're taking care of our own meat suits here in our meat space. But, oh man, I'm going to try and keep my energy up, but it may be wobbly from time to time, as I will be wobbly from time to time, so...
This is all caffeine.
Oh, good. Liquid sugar. Actually, no sugar.
There's no sugar in it.
Oh, it's naturally flavored caffeine. Yeah. Okay, I like it.
300?
Yeah. So a couple things first to kind of catch. We're going to do a little review here in a moment, or a little catch up. But I can guideline sort of what we're doing today. But before that, to set some expectations for the viewer, we're planning on ending a little bit early today, approximately at 8:50, maybe a little earlier than that, depending on proper thematic story moments. But this is because of something relevant to our game / to you, depending on where you are. There should be, or there's predicted to be, a burst meteor shower happening from the constellation of Monoceros, which is the unicorn, which is pretty damn cool. So why this is interesting and relevant to us as well is that, for those who may not know, and you will now, by the way, I teach astronomy, that meteor showers come from the tails of comets, right? As comets have passed by, they've deposited a bunch of material, and basically the Earth runs into that material like bugs on our windshield, and that's where the meteor showers, as they're streaking through our sky, come from, for the vast majority of them. So this happens to be a meteor shower that is fairly rare, or rather, we always hit it this time of year, Monoceros, right around November 21st, but it's usually very mild, a couple an hour maybe, because we're on the fringe of this comet that has passed by. We're not even sure which comet laid down this trail. However, every few years, our orbital path takes us through the meteor part of that trail, and we've, in the last few decades, started predicting when that's going to happen. So I think the last time this one happened, I believe, was 1995, or at least that's the same orbital characteristics that we have this year. So they're expecting a burst of approximately 400 meteors over the course of about 40 minutes to an hour. Again, it's a prediction. It's not set yet. There may be nothing. The ideal spots to view it in the U.S. is going to be East Coast to sort of like Southeast, but we should be able to capture a little bit of it from our perspective. So we're going to break early to go see that. We hope that you do too. Monoceros is between Orion and Sirius. So go find Orion in your sky, and if you don't know what Orion looks like, get out a little bit more, but also Google it in the meantime. But don't break watching the show. Anyway, and rant on that, I'm just excited to go check it out as the astronomy nerd that we all hopefully are, since we're playing a game in space on some level or another. We may or may not run into interstellar debris at some point. Not this game,
what?
Probably.
Foreshadowing?
Probably.
Yeah, so, yes, what I want to know is how likely is something striking the Earth and causing it to explode tonight?
Low.
Okay, good.
So because... Hi, nerd moment. Welcome. So because these meteors come from comets, right, the average size of them, like the beautiful meteors you see streaking, are typically the size of like a grain of rice. The ones that are really particularly powerful and strong are maybe the size of a walnut burning up. They make a big bright light when they hit you at like 100,000 miles an hour, right? Who knew? So because of that, they're also from comets, so they're very ice and dust and very volatile, so they burn up very quickly and easily. So the 99+% of meteors that hit our atmosphere never strike ground, period. They just burn up and look pretty. But meteorite dust does fall on us all the time, and you can collect it at home. For higher level Patreons, I'll tell you how. You can forge your own sword to fight evil with it.
What?
Thanks, Bill, giggling. Yeah.
Like Sokka make meteorite swords?
Yeah, it might take a really long time to gather that much meteorite dust, but let's get on it. Okay, take our time.
Let's start.
I mean, you could also just break into the Smithsonian and steal one of the big pieces.
I like you say that like it's easier.
Yeah, I don't got rogue skills.
Well, it's easier in a time frame sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, quicker.
Yeah,
quicker.
but
There we go.
bards are good distraction. You would just put you out front, yeah?
Yeah.
There we go. We're going to go
I can
gather.
talk my way through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
This makes me think we should have just a real life role playing game. We're like, do you guys have magic? Like, no. What do you guys do? Well, we have jobs and we go steal meteorites from time to time. We're like,
Yeah.
cool.
No big deal.
Playing yourself, go.
Plan a heist
We
every
just
once in a
need a
while.
big chunk of space nickel iron.
Sounds good to me. One of the you were talking about bringing the Smithsonian. We're gonna get to gameplay eventually. Hold on. But you're talking about the Smithsonian at the Museum of Natural History. There is the largest meteorite ever found in Oregon. That was taken over there, and it's huge. It's probably the size of this table. It's pretty massive. My favorite piece of information about that is that meteorites belong to whomever owns the property that it lands on. And so this guy found this one outside of I think Lake Oswego, Westland, Oregon City area. I forget exactly where, but right around there, along the Willamette River. And this guy was like, "Oh, I totally found this. It's mine." And when they went to go check it out, they're like, "You see that long drag mark that goes back several miles to this other person's property? We're pretty sure it came from this meteorite." The guy had attached a rope and ran it several miles, or a mile or so, to the river and used a tugboat to drag the thing for a while until it was on his property.
Is it wrong that I respect him?
No, I'm not wrong at all.
Then what,
That's
Basically,
tenacious.
meteorite.
is it his?
No, they just went, cute. That's not how that works, and then there's a reason why it's in the Museum of Natural History now.
And that's a perfect setup
You
for
got
an
that
H.P.
space sword.
Lovecraft story.
Right, what comes from the meteorite? Meteorite when it hits the ground, people.
Yeah.
To be clear. At any rate, so let's do a little bit of catch up. Where we last left off was we're in the sort of mysterious, not even mysterious, but just incomprehensible to the human mind machine layer that is the sort of virtual reality below the virtual reality, where the sort of machines operate in sort of an assembly language kind of way, like AIs and all the pieces. And it is psychologically harming you all to be there, including Comms 3, because this is sort of a strange reminder of the place that you used to be. You have defenses against it, but it is still harming you because it's a call to something that you once were, but you no longer are. And your current way that your neural pathways are sort of aligned does not jive with you as it once did. So I don't know if it's a level of missing this place or wanting to sort of avoid the allure of going back. I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to come to terms with the existence of my awareness of my existence anyway. But I've only been wrestling with it for 2 days or so. Right?
Yeah, what's that in your time? So
That seems like forever.
Well, like I said, I'm the equivalent of an 8-year-old at this point.
it's evolving.
Oh no.
It's gonna get weird. I like
Long
it.
before you're smarter than us, but I mean you already are.
You
I'm
know,
already smarter
you
than
don't want to know.
Yeah.
I'm an 8-year-old who's smarter than you are. Don't ask questions. Oh god.
Yeah.
I like that.
All 8-year-olds are smarter than me. That's what I've learned.
Rude.
You ever dealt with an 8-year-old?
That sounds like roll initiative. Like
Every-
Sheldon age.
every-
That was a
Yeah.
fight.
I'm-
That's a fight.
Those fighting words.
How many 8-year-olds have you fought at a time? I held a
24
record.
at least.
Whoa. Sometimes middle school classes, man.
I was gonna say
Wait, 8th graders, 8-year-olds, never mind, different.
so summer camp or not summer camp, outdoor school, and about
Outdoor
8
school.
of them. Yeah.
yeah, no, same as those kids.
Wow.
They're so wonderful.
At any rate, I digress. So we're in the machine layer, where you were tasked with optimizing the efficiency of the different daemons that were behind the scenes that were running some paradoxical loops after the blast from Earth that is causing processing issues with the hold. And by optimize, I mean beat the sense out of, is what it sounds like, perhaps, as you all test with weapons, right? Your optimization programs.
Latency. Is it happening to you?
Yes, no, still want you to write things from that. At any rate, so we last left off where each of you found yourselves in these rooms with basically recurring stylized or surreal representations, perhaps, of running loops that you all realize you're sort of captured in. To when, in different ways, each of you sort of started to confront the daemon that was coming into the room, to which they started to challenge you. And we had rolled initiative. So this is, as we're all still learning the program, but accurate, game and the mechanic, right? We'll be kind of doing a lot of combat today, kind of rolling with it, quite literally, so have your dice ready. But that's give each other a little bit of leeway as we're figuring out exactly how the mechanisms work and play out. I ask that you know things like, your hit points, basically your wounds and your wound threshold. I hopefully won't kill you, but we'll see how this goes. Who knows what happens in the machine layer when you die. But also know your stats for your weapon and things along those lines, and we'll kind of go from there. We'll play with this. Either way, what I want to do is spend a little bit of time. I've got a cool cheat sheet that I found online. I'll reference whoever kind of created this piece at some point. But I want to talk about combat turns. I hope everybody had a chance to read through, understanding that life is complex and how I need reminders. This would be a good thing to get us a little more comfortable with some of the pieces of the system. Mm-hmm. So each combat turn, also called an active turn, takes approximately 3 seconds. So it's like D&D-ish, right? But about half-seas in terms of the amount of time. In a single combat turn, all characters act based on their initiatives, which is going to be a d6 plus your initiative that you should have on your sheets. So that's going to be one of our first things that we do. Evie, I might have you grab that board up there at some point for us to write down initiatives, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Obviously, per usual, going from high to low. When they reach the player, you can perform exactly one of the following below. Either a complex action and a quick action. So you can imagine like a bonus action with D&D or something like that, a regular and a bonus perhaps. There's a task action and a quick action, or 3 quick actions. Additionally, there's something called automatic actions that you can just take any number of. They're free actions, right? And you can do any number of them per turn. In terms of some of the basics / movement, right? An automatic action might be talking, just perceiving your surroundings with a base perception, which is at like a -20 from whatever your normal perception is. You could defend, you could drop something, move your whatever your movement is. A quick action is something like activating something, explaining, normal perception checks where you take a little extra time, drawing a weapon, going undercover. A complex action would be like aiming, attacking with either a gun or melee, examining something very closely, reloading your weapon, or dealing with a complex device, activating one. And then a task action would be anything longer than 2 seconds, right? So if you have to heal somebody, if you're trying to hack a computer, those actions aren't going to be quick. So it's going to generally, take something. It's a task, right? It's going to take a little more than 2 seconds. That'll kind of make sense here. So the general flow of combat is as such. So when it gets to your turn, you can declare an attack. Which the skill you choose based upon whatever you're attacking with. So your melee skill, gun skill, athletics for grenades, interfacing if we're doing other stuff in the future, like interfacing with a weapon system. But I think for now, all of us have sort of melee or gun one way or another, whether it's hands or knives or guns. Defense will be declared, so melee or fray skills if you're in melee or being attacked with melee. If you're being attacked with ranged, your defense is your fray skill divided by 2. You could potentially be on full defense as an action, a complex action at some point, so that might give you a bonus to your defense in this section. After that, we apply any modifiers that are important, like whatever's going down. We'll make opposed tests, so if you're attacking, it might be your melee versus their melee skill, right? For instance, and take that as a normal opposed roll in this game. Per attacker, superior success inflicts more damage, right? Or critical would also double damage down. So that could get scary real fast for y'all. Roll the damage, apply any special damage that might happen. We apply any armor, so we would subtract any armor from that damage. I'm not sure any of you actually have armor, so that makes it easier.
To die?
I mean,
Actually, I don't know how any of this relates to me.
Right. Well, this is all like relative in a sort of virtual sense for now, right? Like these things have some sort of connection, at least in some sort of narrative way, back to what's happening to you, like virtually. Like for you, it's your more human cognitive things that are sort of overlapping are creating this world with everybody else. So this isn't necessarily how the machines would be interacting with the world. And so it's sort of like each of you are overlaying, hence why you see your weapons as an actual weapon, right? You're overlaying some human cognitive perception
I got the
on whatever these things are.
I got the impression that I don't have any weapons. I do have weapons in this?
Well, last time we had chosen from the sort of programs, like a gun, something that you might be good with. If it's your hands and fists or whatever, that also works fine, right? Like it's okay. And if you want to choose something
Did you pick a specific gun, like a Dirty Harry gun?
Yeah, there.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, okay, I'm back online. Cool. Okay,
back online. I like that comms 3.
Yeah. Quick question: how do we calculate our wounds threshold?
Your wounds threshold should be.
Mine is 7. I don't remember how I calculated it, but I haven't.
Oh, I think
my trauma threshold is 7.
6.
Maybe it's not a wounds threshold. It might not be a wounds threshold piece. It might be just literally something else here. What does this have? Oh no, there is a wound threshold.
Yeah.
Fun times. That is fantastic to know. Somebody look that up just in case.
Wound threshold?
Yeah. I think it's once you hit that, you kind of go through bad times. I'll put it that way. I don't think there's actually...
But it's not part of your trauma threshold?
No, trauma threshold is all the psychological pieces, right? Trauma, insanity, lucidity, etc. But your wound threshold, I wish it said right here. That'd be really handy if it said how to calculate it. Does it say on the sheet at all?
No, it's just up there with
I'll look in the index.
the pools.
Thank you much.
It's up with the pools.
Cool. We'll get there. Yeah, for instance, this character is, looks pretty average, and they've got a wound threshold of 7. So keep that in mind. For sake of fairness, I'm also not going to run any of these players they're not going to be wearing armor, things like that. Just like you. Anyway, so we'll get back to that.
Sweet stats.
Cool. So we apply damage after that once we've gone through the armor. If accumulated damage exceeds your durability, or threshold, right, the target is incapacitated. If it exceeds any sort of death rating, that target is destroyed. Not sure what the... Yeah, gotcha. So this character, for instance, has a durability... Okay, so wound threshold, I believe, unless we're looking it up.
Durability divided by 5, round up.
Cool.
Okay, but how do you get durability?
Up the next stack.
Durability is...
It'd be really funny if they just all feed into each other.
They do.
Okay.
So durability is a morph stat. Durability is unlimited. Range for baseline tends to fall between 20 and 60.
Gotcha.
It's determined by your morph.
Gotcha. So that's a little bit weird because we're sort of in an infomorph kind of way, and we're playing this a little fast and loose in terms of learning mechanics. So I'm going to say you're all about similar. Let's go ahead and say that your durability is 35 for now.
Okay, cool.
I'll give you a death rating.
Now mine is 3.
No, that's
so then what would that make our wound threshold be?
7.
7.
Okay.
And a death rating of, I'm going to go with 55. Basing this on sort of a similar character that's kind of like a PC character.
I think I got mine written down from when you told us what type of character we were going to be.
That sounds good. Yeah, like I said, we're playing this a little fast on this because we're in a digital environment versus this is something that's more of like a physical
Do we need
thing.
ego flex?
So, not necessarily.
You can't have more than 3. Everybody starts with 1.
Okay.
And you can give yourself more from other stuff.
If y'all feel comfortable using pool points, then we can. But I'm also assuming that we haven't had a lot of experience with that, and I have some activities planned for us to kind of get used to using.
No, that's
pool
totally
points as well.
fair.
I don't understand them, but I'm not allowed to use them.
Yeah, so haha.
You can use them, you can't switch them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you can use them in any other way, but you can't flip the roll.
Because I've got the same thing. I'm not allowed the bad luck.
Oh, that's a powerful negative. I like that.
Yeah, no, I'm really composed. I just have really bad luck.
I mean, hence the arm.
Yeah.
So does all of that make sense?
Yes.
More or less.
And again, we're going to run through it multiple times just in the nature of the combat. So we're going to, it's not like I feel comfortable, but it's going to be, and then there's all these modifiers with depending on different weapons and things, which will become more comfortable down the line if we have larger scale combats, right? But for now, we're going to keep things relatively simple, no armors, simple weapons, and we are going to go from there.
I'm ready to smash your grandfather clock.
Whoa. I like it. Oh, that's not a metaphor. What is it?
Where is it?
So with this, right, there are also other auto modifiers. Words. Why can't I word
auto modifier, Pia.
Brain because I like that. So things where eventually we can get down to playing with hey, there's multiple targets. Hey, there's grappling conditions, reach, and all that jazz. If you're trying to just touch only, for instance, without doing any damage, you get bonuses. So there's things like that can be handy, and I've got some cheat sheets I'll give out to you later. Not, unfortunately, now, because I only have one, because we're kind of going through it. But you might have other modifiers like, hey, you're in a superior position, and you might get wounded, or there's large targets, etc. Other things along the lines of if you have a ranged weapon, you can take a quick action to take aim, and that's going to give you a +10 to hit. If you take a complex action, so basically a full round to aim, you get a +30, right? But that's using your full turn. So you'll get a shot off next round kind of idea. So I imagine it's going to be a little awkward as we're rolling through this, but
For
has a
melee,
button.
is there like a defensive stance that's similar?
So you can using a complex action go on complete defense, or I think it's called total defense, full defense, something along those lines. Yeah, full defense, which holds true to any attack coming at you. It's going to give you a plus 30 for your defense roll.
Cool.
You can also do things like take cover, right, which is going to add modifiers if that is even relevant, right?
Sure.
And yeah, in terms of that, I think that's what we got. So otherwise, if something's coming at you with melee, you can use either your melee or your fray skill as defense, whichever's better for you.
Okay.
If something's coming at you with a ranged weapon, it's going to be fray divided by 2. That is your only option. Which is basically can you dodge, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I say that we kind of drop into this and see how it rolls, unless there's any questions right now.
I do have questions because I did not get any of this homework done.
The teacher in me was.
How dare you?
What's up?
So, like adding to the aptitude for things like melee, or like that's from that the 1,000 points.
Gotcha. That's like the total pool of like.
Right. We've never discussed how that works.
How this specifically works right
all
here?
of the skill point stuff.
The customization points?
Right. Remember, it was not at the at the meeting where you discussed it, and we were gonna go over this, but we never did.
It's been busy.
So,
I'm gonna say for now, since you're hanging out with.
And you kept saying, because I'm a different kind of character, we'll deal with this later. We keep kicking it down and so now I just don't know where I am.
Cool. So right now, because you're hanging out with Truthseeker, or have been hanging out with Truthseeker and glommed on in the last few hours, in terms of like connecting and looking to everybody, you're going to be using Truthseeker stats when it comes to these things, and then we'll roll from there afterwards. We'll spend time.
Good. Yeah.
Well,
right.
This is a learning the mechanics kind of game.
Right.
Right.
That's fine. That's fine.
My guns are at 15. I'm sorry.
What do I know about guns? I know about guns. Just some. I have a vague idea of what.
How's your melee?
Like 1.2.
My melee. Well, because last time when we were talking about like how stats work and stuff,
Here.
I switched some of my guns to melee because I was like, I'm going to be a fucking punchy person, not a shooting person.
So it's entirely possible you'll learn that at some point and you start pistol whipping people, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, my melee. Yeah.
I might react to things differently anyway. Like.
And my phrase
composure, so I have good extra customization points. So
sounds good.
You just get to put them in.
You can look at my.
All right, guys. So we are going to be dropping into this then. So and we'll just roll with it and see what happens.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep saying that because my brain is not working at 100%.
That's fine. Roll with it.
I just wanted to know if they were 1.2.
Literally. So I'm going to start off with Truthseeker then.
Okay.
So Truthseeker, what do you remember about the room that you were in?
I remember that the room I'm in, the clock keeps stopping, and then somebody comes in and fixes the clock and goes through a different door, and then it eventually stops working and the cycle repeats itself. If I follow the person, I'm in the same room, and they won't talk to me regardless. And I was starting to get really irritated that like nothing was happening.
I like this.
Yeah.
So actually, what I'm gonna do.
Who I am? Why aren't you fucking responding to me?
Excuse me. You tried to follow them into different rooms, right? And you just kept running into the same clock and the issues. I like that. So I'm actually going to backtrack a little bit. I want everybody to roll initiative, which is rolling a d6 and then adding your initiative in. Evie, would you mind keeping track of the initiative on the board up there, perhaps?
Oh, mm-hmm.
And what I'm going to do is...
dry erase?
They're right here.
Right there.
Never mind.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to, as we hit each of you in this initiative, it's basically going to pop into your room for now. And then we'll have a quick like d6 roll off to see who is going first in that case, like in your room. And so we can kind of just do like different pockets as all of this is resolving.
Can you hand me a d6, please?
I'll let you choose.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got a 12, Evie. Whenever you're
Whoa.
ready.
Wait,
What is
a
your
D6?
8.
I like it.
What did I get?
Yeah,
I got a 2. What is my initiative?
Me and
So,
Mark found them out together.
I got a 12 as well.
You rolled a 6?
What's up?
I did.
Hell yeah.
how do you get your initiative stat?
Yeah.
I believe. Well,
Mark showed me last, like 2 weeks ago.
Because on here it says your initiative is intuition plus reflex times 2, which puts mine at 60. So
Oh, then I think you have to divide it by something, don't you? Pretty sure you have to divide it by something.
Oh, we are so not prepared for this terribly well. I'm still learning these things. I'm going off NPCs that I've got. So if that's the case, so what is what would you say is the...
Yeah, give me the formula again.
Intuition plus reflexes times 2. But so
Then I think sorry.
When I was filling out the autofill sheet, it then divided that by 10, which gave
I
me
was
a
going to
6.
say, yeah, I think it's divided by 10 because my intuition plus my reflexes or whatever is 40 times 2 is 80. Divided by 10 is 8.
Okay,
sounds good.
Okay,
Mine still comes back to, it's either 60 or 6.
Cool.
I'd say 6.
I like the 6.
Yeah, and so we both got a 12, but I have a higher initiative. So do you want us to do a roll-off?
No, just go. Oh, in this case,
I got
just
it.
have you go first.
Okay.
So wait, we roll a 6 and then
Add your initiative score.
so I got a 10 as well.
Cool. So
Wait, no, I'm sorry, I got an 8. I'm last.
Okay, cool. That was easy.
Sweet.
Otherwise, we good? Is everybody written down? Oh,
No, just now I need them.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, I got a 12.
Okay.
I got a 12.
But going after True Seeker.
Okay. And
C3.
and then are you next?
Yeah, I got 10.
10. And I got 8. Great. And then do you have anybody that goes in there?
So what I'm going to do is basically this is when you're going in your room and I'm going to have like the NPC kind of going either before or after, depending on something when we get to that room. So this is kind of the order of us bopping around the table. You're basically going to have like one round in each of those rooms, and then we'll pop to the next.
Okay.
Cool?
Is there a place we want this?
We usually just put it right
Okay,
up there.
great. Perfect.
Yay, combat.
Yeah, we'll see how this
Kill
goes.
something.
So, like, appropriately, actually, I think we started with True Seekers going first. So, True Seeker, I think when last, like, the thing that is in your room, and as we come to each of your rooms, I'll describe it again for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You had what looked like a very humanoid-ish kind of, creature, right? Looks, in fact, more human than anything else, even. Maybe some mechanical elements in a sort of stylized sense, but nothing like overtly mechanical, just like maybe some augments here or there. And it had started like, looking towards you very menacingly and starting to approach you, where before it had only been handling the clock.
Okay.
Right? And so what do you do?
Well, I think I would activate my gloves, which just would harden.
So what are your gloves exactly again?
My gloves are specifically Densiplast gloves. I have one on each hand, and it counts as a single weapon together. But essentially, like, I'm just like hardening my punch, and I see it as kind of like there's something that's concealable, so people don't really know that True Seeker has it on them, but it's there for them in a pinch, and it's kind of like the
beat some
strength
truth
of
into
resolve, like put into like
Beat some truth
tangibility.
into them.
Exactly.
Thoughts and prayers.
You want the
I don't
fucking
know.
truth? I'll give you the truth.
You can't handle the
Yeah.
truth seeker.
So, sometimes, the cold, hard knuckles of truth. I like it. So what do you do? Does it take a quick action to pull those up or something like that?
No, I'm pretty sure that's just
Just the nature of like, you're like, go, gadget, gloves.
yeah. I think they just like activate like as like a
Automatic.
yeah.
Try to use the terminology here.
Yeah.
Cool. So, you get glare menacingly. What's your
No,
your
I
options?
want to I want to charge at it.
Whoa.
So that'll be minus 10 to my melee, I think, but I get an extra d6.
Ooh, all right. You are just going all in. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds like you're declaring an attack. So you've got your melee. You're gonna be so it's taking a minus 10 for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for this creature, let's see, it's melee or fray skills. Which one is it better at? Well, not have melee. So, gotcha. So it's got a 50 for me. Yeah, let's roll this out. Let's grab some dice. I love rolling dice. Let me see if there's one before we go. So applying the modifiers, that's going to be a minus 10 to you. I don't think there's any other conditional modifiers. No, same size as you. Everything else seems pretty solid. Cool. So other than that, let's do this test.
All right. I think I failed. I got a 71.
What is your melee skill?
55.
Minus 10, so yeah, you needed a 45 or less.
Yeah.
However, this creature needed a...
Did you get a critical miss?
Yes, I don't think the critical miss in this particular case matters, though.
You just rolled a 99. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, we both failed. Yes, I rolled a 99, which is pretty cool, but we both failed. So I don't think that does anything additional in this case, right? There's not a lot of, like, criticals happen really in terms of, like, extra damage or things. If you had succeeded, this might be, like, another narrative piece where, like, you really beat the crap out. I don't know, but right now this just means you both failed. Like, nothing else really took place there.
Like we swung and missed each other.
Yeah, well, this one, it hasn't attacked you yet. This is you attacking it, right?
Yeah.
So that didn't work out so well. So now it is coming at you. And good thing you charged, because it basically pulls out, looks like it's like bag of tools that it was using to work on the clock, and pulls out this like pistol. That it kind of levels at you, but being that you're in its face, it is getting some modifiers negative against it, right? Like it is difficult to fire at something that is right next to you.
Yeah.
So it has, let me see, well, it's not a long weapon, but it's got a minus 10 on its attack, which is a 45. So it's got a 35 on its gun's attack to hit you. Okay. So you have a fray divided by 2 as your defense on this.
Divided by 2?
Yeah, so what's your fray skill?
65.
So then you always round true in this, which means up, right? So you're really looking at, what, like a 33.
Okay.
So...
So I have to roll lower than a 33.
Yep.
To not get shot.
So they have to roll lower than a 35.
I rolled a 12.
Nice. They rolled a 20. So what that means is that they still beat you. Because they also succeeded, but it wasn't anything special. But it does mean that you're going to take some damage, unfortunately. So... Oh, good. I'm glad. It wasn't.
I've been shot before.
Oh.
In the machine layer.
Not in the machine layer. This is like shot on like a meta level.
Oh,
of
wait.
Like between the atom. What?
I just realized because brain doing sick things, none of this is going to be physical damage. It's all back to that wound threshold stuff, or your trauma threshold. So you're just going to be doing this based on trauma stuff.
Okay.
You're still taking
It's
defense in the same way, but that's where like your hit point pool is going to be based off that, which is great for you.
Yeah.
Your body is flopping around somewhere and blood's coming out of your mouth.
Okay.
Not even, actually. I don't.
Yeah.
Because
we're not even attached to our bodies like that.
Yeah, you're not at all
Yeah.
attached to them. This is not like the Matrix where you're clicked into the body, right? And that's where it's partly playing out. This, but yeah,
Our meat suits are
I
in
like
some
that would be the
stasis.
sort of
Right.
equivalent in a Matrixy world, but this is just like whatever is holding you together is starting to unravel is more like what that's happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The truth is starting to
Like-
find challenges. Oh, that bias is seeping in.
There's holes
The
in
bias is sitting in.
You take 8 trauma from this whatever program it's actually hitting you with that looks like a bullet.
You mean I take 8 stress or I take 8 traumas?
Traumas, I believe. Let me check the things.
Right. 8. You take the...
Yeah, so this is going towards your this is like your
Stress
traumas,
taking?
right? The stress taking. Yeah, so it's stress.
This is stress.
Yeah, it is
Once
stress is the
once
name
the
of it.
stress gets up to a certain point, it becomes trauma.
Yeah, what is your stress threshold or your trauma threshold?
My trauma threshold is 11.
So you did
So I have
fine.
to
Nothing
get-
happened there. So you have to take more than that even in order to get a like
An
psychological
official trauma.
wound, right? An official
Yeah.
trauma. Right now you're taking stress, right?
Right. So I took 8.
Yep. And then we roll on over to columns 3. So you were in a room, if you remember, with, or what do you remember about your room? I'll do that. The room that you were in, if anything. It's a real heavy. If you don't remember everything, that's fine.
I don't. I don't. I need a prompt, and I think
It was very appropriate to you in terms of the item that was in the room.
the item that was in the
So it was a film reel.
Oh,
An old
right.
school
Oh,
projector.
right. And it was it was like running until it breaks down, and then a door would open up, and the robot would come in and fix it,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah,
leave.
and the thing was, it was a humanoid robot, but it was very much mechanical, right,
Right.
looking in terms of this case.
Yes.
So, and you figured out you were screwing with a lot of different ways to play with the, try and like break it, right, and kept
trying
new
to
robot
shift.
kept coming in.
Right, kept trying to short circuit the loop, trying to break the loop,
Break the loop,
but it does.
man.
But
What you did, you made the robot do something different.
I did, but it didn't get me any closer to the solution.
That's true.
Oof.
Because it sounds like that's the whole problem is that we have a system that is caught in a feedback loop, and we're trying to disrupt the feedback loop, and
Trying to reset it
restart it back to factory specifications.
Oh, good.
Go to a hard factory reset.
I like it. That's it. Hard factory reset. So it kind of a similar case happened here when like all of them sort of started triggered by your actions, and this one starts coming at you. So what is your initiative rating?
There's not
12.
enough.
Don't
Okay.
worry about it.
So you were also definitely going to go first in this case. So what are you doing? Are you attacking? Are you
Why would I attack?
I don't know. Good question. It looks like it is looking at you menacingly is a phrase that sort of comes across your mind in a weird way from like flashes of things.
So it's like the colored lights that represent its eyes turn from green to red or something like that.
Well, it's like it's been only focused on the projector for now, and now it is distinctly looking at you
Because I changed the...
something's happened, right? Where now obviously its attention is focused
Does it
on
have a
you.
weapon?
It does. It also has. It's starting to pull a pistol out, or rather, a pistol is forming out of its hand.
Oh, well, then I will definitely draw my pistol.
Nice. You feel unlucky, punk?
Exactly.
Reach for this guy.
And that's when that's when it occurs to me that I have that someone at some point must have uploaded a great deal of old 2D video and that when I don't have any idea of how to behave in a situation, I look for some example out of this database, and that's where the Dirty Harry character comes in. So Clint Eastwood with a gun.
Yeah, I like it. All right, so keep in mind you also have a quick action, which may not be relevant. You drew your gun, so that would be a quick
And I
action in this
said,
case.
"Feel lucky, punk."
Which is an automatic action.
Yes.
And take fire, right? So you've got, or alternatively, let me double check a thing. No, you had to draw your weapon in this case. So keep in mind in future rounds, you could take a quick action to aim and give yourself a +10 and then fire that same round. But you have to draw this round, so we couldn't, right?
Okay.
Those are both quick actions.
That's fine. That's the first time I've.
I'm just thinking about
This
it like
is the first time
for
I've
all
done
of us. Same. It's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. Management told me I'm supposed to do this.
I know.
I'm just following the rules.
Oh, yeah. So here we go. Let's see. So you're firing, so we're going to use your gun skills. This is going to be fun for you. And then it is using its fray divided by 2. Cool. It's not looking great for either of you, so let's see what happens here.
Okay. My gun is 15.
Okay, did you roll less than 15?
No, I rolled a 26.
Oh, that's surprisingly close. So you both failed. Your shot goes wide, right, and kind of like ricochets off off the rim corners. So then it sort of like levels it, like has drawn and has leveled its weapon at you. So you're having this like old school, like just firing gun battle across the block, like over the movie reel.
Yeah.
What with Dr. Strangelove in the background flickering on the screen because that's
the wrong movie.
Yeah, it's real disjointed. And so it is taking a shot at you with its gun's ability, which is better. What is your fray divided by 2?
Where's Ray?
Excellent question.
It's also 33.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is very similar combat as last time.
What?
Right, yeah.
The same thing is happening. kind of.
So it doesn't have the same impediment as it did with you, however, trying to shoot at range. So, see how this goes.
I got all up in its grill.
Ooh, I mean, you could roll, but it failed miserably. So you're both just like firing wildly at each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Firing wildly.
It's like those bad westerns that they downloaded. You know, they never actually hit each other. They just shoot like a lot and like hit cans and shit.
There you go. You're really only like 10 feet away from each other and just being like...
I watched a season of the A-Team.
For I'm the best.
10,000 bullets per episode. No one dies.
You could just turn into a stormtrooper at some point and then just never hit anything.
Wow.
Old school stormtrooper. All right, looks like Penelope, you're up with Kaster on deck. So, what do you remember about your room?
My room.
Creature.
My creature was humanoid, but I think you said it was kind of froggish.
It was kind of froggish.
The room has a fountain in it that I'm sort of imagined as like a replica of the Trevi fountain. But it keeps overflowing, and this creature comes in and reaches in, fiddles with something, and it'll start draining, and then it leaves and it starts overflowing again. And I watched this a couple times. And then pulled out my assault rifle and just fired.
Which you're using as an old school, like, single shot muskety rifle. We're using assault rifle mechanics, basically, or?
Yeah.
Cool. Because there's some limitations we have currently, but I love it. This thing is like, I'm just trying to refill the fountain, and you're just, like, plowing it down.
Okay, 47.
If I remember right, though, actually, you had initiated it by pulling your weapon on it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that we're starting, that's basically giving you like a mild ambush on it. You're basically starting the round with your weapon already out, so you could take a quick action to aim.
I would like to do that.
Cool. So what is your initiative, first off?
My initiative is 6.
Perfect. So you're actually going before it anyway, too, so that works great. So have that. So
cool.
What is your gun skill?
60.
With the modifier?
70.
So you're getting a plus 10 with the aim.
Oh, 70.
All right, so its fray is 25. Divide by 2, so it's 25. Yeah. All right, poor frog creature.
I rolled 40.
You definitely got it. And you actually rolled over the 33, so that is it's not the crit, but it's the other, like the superior success or something like that. Yeah. So it gives you an extra d6 of damage.
Sweet. So
yeah.
The assault rifle damage is 2d10 plus 2 plus a d6.
Okay.
Well, because in semi-automatic mode, you can shoot just one bullet.
No, that sounds good. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing with my like bullets in general. Like 2d10 for a lot of things. Painful, like damage things.
Yeah.
Yeah, good at.
64, 66, 67.
Oh, wait, what? 60. No. So the 2d10 is not percentile dice. Add them up like regular dice. No worries. I'm like, wait, hold on. Did you hit it with a cannon?
Yes, I hit. I mean, cool. Yes.
Yeah.
So 13.
Okie dokie. Froggy does not look pleased with you, but it's still rolling around. 13, you say, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So it's, does the whole like frog thing where kind of like, it's humanoid, but it's like humanish legs kind of like bend backwards in a really uncomfortable looking angle as it squats in a frog-like sort of position and just leaps at you and basically slams into you with attacking you with melee is really what's happening. So what is you can either dodge with your melee or fray ability. Not fray divided by 2, by the way, when it's melee. So whatever your choice is here.
So that would be 40?
Whichever one's better.
No. 20. That should be 40. 55?
55? I'll go with it. That sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
All right, so it's got to roll a 50. Now let's just roll it out for you. So then you've got to roll less than 55?
Yeah.
So what you got? I'm rolling real high.
I rolled a 44.
So you dodged it. Like it kind of
does
bounces
something
out.
special happen when you roll the same number?
That is like a crit, but in this particular case, you just really get out of the way.
Yeah.
But you're right. If it's a skill something, it might mean, or if you roll that for damage, right, that means you're going to double the damage. Which is also really cool. Yeah. But no, thanks for pointing out. Definitely we should get in track of like, oh, hey, crit. But in this case, I don't think it's doing anything in particular.
But normally, like, as long as it's a success and it's to the same number besides 99, it's going to be a crit.
Yeah. But since this was a defensive roll, right, it just means like you definitely got out of the way.
Right. Cool.
Cool. So then, Kaster.
Yes.
What do you remember about your room?
Weren't you just like holding the cup?
So yeah, no, what Kaster remembers is the way that I thought of it was like basically almost a completely empty room or a white space, like no edges really, except for a pedestal and like a door that would happen, but not necessarily a door. And a series of bugs.
Dragonfly-ish looking.
That's right. Dragonflies, yeah, would come out, and because there was a teacup on top of the pedestal, and it would fall into the floor and break, and they would come out to like do a thing, and then it would go back.
Do a thing.
And then they would go away. And I watched that. Kaster watched that and was sort of like, well, cool. I'm just gonna take that cup before it falls. And then they were not happy. Or maybe, or I don't know. That's what I remember.
In the same way that the others have sort of dealt with this, like these things which had been previously completely ignoring you, now have been interrupted and are very aware of your presence.
Right.
And maybe I'd say you have a little additional insight from a sense of having been in the machine layer before, interacted with some artificial intelligences, that you get a sense that these things are now hostile towards you.
Cool.
So what is your initiative?
So my initiative...
Just rating in general, yeah.
Oh, I figured it out.
Good.
6? Is that like...
No, that sounds about right.
Okay, cool.
So do me a favor, because theirs is 6 as well, and I've just been using that as a flat number. Give me just a straight D6 roll.
Okay. And like that one. And that. 6.
Cool, so you're going
Good
first.
choice.
Great.
Yeah. So what do you do? I mean, these things definitely look like they are swooping at you currently.
Like, so they're coming at me.
Yeah.
Only fools
Honestly, I feel like... I don't know. I feel like Kaster would be not initially hostile to the system in which they are in conjunction working with. So I almost want to say that I would take like full defensive, at least initially, and be like, what are you doing? Like, so I'm not doing anything as far as that goes.
Going on dodge.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, like, I do feel like since there's, like, if they did that during the cup holding, I might just drop it and go defensive.
I like that.
Yeah.
So here's what's going to happen. So to kind of represent why this defensive is working is that, so there, as I described before, there's like 3 of them buzzing.
Right.
As you go defensive and drop the cup, 2 of them kind of swoop to start like collecting the cup in a way that you'd seen them do before in their loop. But the third is still sort of beelining towards you, and you see basically like a little hatch open up along its thorax, and basically a pistol pop out and like turret style pop at you and fire. These are mechanical dragonflies. Come on.
I love that it's a pistol that pops out.
Yeah, whatever. A gun turret.
Yeah, but if they pull the trigger, will it just say bang?
No matter what you do.
I mean, we'll see how it goes.
It'll say bang and
So,
then hurt
what is your
really
fray
bad.
divided by 2?
My fray divided by 2 is 7.5.
Your fray is 15.
Yes.
I'm glad you're on.
Boy.
Even with full defense, you're at 37, so 38, because you always round up. Nice.
Thanks.
Proud of you.
Is it divided by 2 or times?
Well, it is divided by 2. And okay,
Do we need to roll lower than a 7?
well, no, now 38 because they're on full dodge.
Defense.
Yeah.
I got
You're
you.
really not designed to get into battle, so obviously.
No, I mean, we haven't needed these programs for years.
Yeah, it's fair.
not
you've
useful
cut
to our
out
species.
these skills, right?
Right?
So it's coming at you needing a 50, so roll off here.
When was the last time Kaster got in a bar
And
fight?
right.
Oh, fair enough.
Right now. That's, as of now.
I have never been in a situation in my life where I've been like angry at rolling high. I've been consistently angrily rolling high.
And we're doing percentiles, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you just have to roll less than a 58. But here's the thing: it failed too. So in attacks, nothing happens. It's sort of like it swooped at you and nothing occurred. So then we're flipping back to Truth Seeker.
Okay.
So you're toe to toe with this thing, and it's trying to shoot at you with a pistol face to face. Are you going to keep delivering truth?
Is grappling like a full action?
Excellent question. I haven't really played around with grappling too much. But I believe you're talking about complex action.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to push it into the clock.
Okay. Sure. Give it a go. So I'm going to say it's going to be a contested melee on melee.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. And if you succeed, you get to push it. You're not doing like, I'm not going to say you're punching it. You're not doing punch damage with your fists, but you're going to clock damage maybe. We'll see what happens.
I want to clock it.
I'm actually really proud of you.
I feel like I should drink for that.
that was a worthy one.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, folks.
Hot garbage, though. So, I don't know. Actually, what's your melee skill?
My melee skill is 65.
Hey, so you roll a 61?
Oh, my melee skill is 55. I rolled a 61.
Oh, try to
my fray is 65.
Lied to me.
I looked at the wrong one, Will. I would never lie to you actively. And I'm not going to apologize.
Passively lying, though. It
like how you choose.
It definitely dodges you, and actually you end up hitting the clock. Doing no damage, but definitely fracturing the clock. The thing gets looks enraged and turns back to you. At this point, though, it takes a step back and fires off a shot at you.
Okay.
So your fray divided by 2.
Roll low. I rolled high. I
You got a
failed.
77.
I failed.
You rolled 77.
I critically failed.
Well, there is no critical fails in this case, but
Okay,
if I do critical, then bad damage happens to you as the attacker. But I did succeed, and I did a superior succeed, so I have an additional 2d10 plus 6 stress on you. I'm glad you're the one taking damage. You are the big damage sponge of this.
You need a 6?
Bill, mind if I have a little snooze to that? No, I've got a 6. Thank you, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just swig. That kind of day.
It was.
Ooh, only 7 after rolling 2d10 plus 6.
That still doesn't pass my trauma threshold, though. But I am getting really close to getting to my insanity rating.
Oh, no. I can put that shit away today.
Isn't the insanity rating also really high?
My insanity rating is 110.
You're really... Oh, that's right. You had a bunch of damage from before.
I haven't gotten any of my stress taken away, just my traumas. So I don't have any traumas, but my stress is out.
Oh, that's right, because... What are you at for your... Wow, you have enough to make other players go insane. What are you
I'm
at?
at 45.
That's nowhere near 100
I
something.
know. I thought I had more than I did
Hold
when
on.
I said that.
Maths.
But I'm like halfway to what it would be without
True.
my little boost. I'm more than halfway. Too insane.
We know.
Nice.
All right, then pop it over to comms 3. The gun battle continues across the projector.
I realized pretty quickly that I'm not going to get very far just trying to take pot shots at it. So I'm going to close the distance and take my gun hand and try to knock its gun out of its hand.
Interesting. So I'm playing this as a contested melee. So it's basically like actually melee to either melee or fray, depending whichever is better for me. Like it might try and dodge in a different way.
I do love the idea that comms 3 would be like, what? That doesn't work.
This must not be how you use one of these.
Right?
Cool. So it's gonna do a fray. So roll me a melee. I'm gonna say you're doing a called shot, so it's at a -10 because you're trying to knock it out.
Okay.
Whereas it's just gonna be doing a straight fray of 50. So what's your melee -10?
My melee -10 is 45.
Cool. So what'd you roll?
83.
Oh, you failed. It dodged you real fast. It just ducked out of the way. It rolled.
All right. It's quick.
Yep. And kind of mechanically whirls back at you. But it doesn't seem actually it seems kind of inspired by what you're doing.
I ask it if it can understand me.
It's of course, your language is known to me as it fires at you.
Okay.
Like it seems like
That is an answer.
yeah, carrying on a conversation like while shooting at you very calmly in a strange way.
Right.
So
Which probably doesn't seem strange to me at all.
yeah, so it's not moving at all. So it's taking a -10 on its guns versus your fray divided by 2.
Fray divided by 2. Okay.
What is that again? You should probably write that down just as a good thing. But it's taking the shot at you, which is shoots wide. You know you need to roll this one. Heading on over to Penelope.
Penelope is not having any of this, and so
Oh, and what was that?
Penelope, what's Penelope's perception? Actually, all of you, what's your perception too? Perception -20, actually.
where's perception?
Somewhere in the skills area. Sorry. Perceive, sorry.
My perceived minus
-20?
Yeah.
20.
Okay.
50.
Okay.
60.
Whoa.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if our skills are the same.
So yeah, so we'll do that. So Penelope, you don't actually
your survival?
you don't
You don't
notice
have a
this,
perceive.
but
This is
every one of you, you're
I'm
hearing
sorry.
gunshots.
Mine's 80.
Oh.
Line up another shot. Straight between the eyeballs.
Ooh.
Come
How you
on.
determine movement rate? Mine's 420, and I love it.
Oh.
I don't remember how I found
missed.
it.
Can't look at that.
I rolled an 89.
Cool. You still have to tell me if you ever roll a critical failure,
Which
because
is
that's
99.
99.
yeah, because that can, when you're the attacker rolling a critical failure, that can mean like your gun jams, right?
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. Oh well, no, I mean like any double value.
Any double value.
Any double value is a critical fail.
Oh, okay.
The 99 is an auto fail, whereas 00 right is a
auto
full
success.
succeed, right? So it rolled very well, so it dodged again.
Yeah.
But it's lining up and doing the frog jump again, kind of slam at you. So your melee or fray, whichever's better as defense.
Ooh. I rolled a 71 and my fray is a 55.
Ouch. So it does hit you. So it rolled over a superior success, and so it's going to hit you for 8 points of stress. Yeah. What's your threshold?
So my threshold is 6, and I already had 4 points of stress damage, so I get 2 traumas, right?
No. So it's only in a single hit do new traumas kick in. Right?
Oh, okay. So
you are
one-
getting 1 trauma, which is going to
But
give you a
I
-10 on rolls and stuff. So keep track of that.
Okay. But I still have 12 stress.
Yeah, you still do. You still keep your total because you need to be aware of that towards your lucidity and insanity rating. Right. Lucidity is basically where you go unconscious, shall we say? Something along those
Yeah.
lines.
So I'm halfway there.
Okay. Cool. Don't take more hit damage. Caster.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, buddy?
We're eating a funfetti cupcake.
this is full
Nice.
defense.
This is full. You're not wrong. Funfetti cupcake and scotch. Full defense.
Is
So-
real fast? Is Penelope saying anything, or just like firing at this thing, or?
She's just firing at this thing. She really just wants it disabled so she can pull it apart and see what needs rewiring.
Gotcha. Caster, you heard like a fire and then like a crashing sound, like a slamming thud. And you're
Do
not
I
sure where
know how close that is?
it sounds like it's right next to you.
Oh, interesting. Like as though it happened right
Heard somebody
there.
getting clocked.
No.
It worked still. When I say it a third time, it'll be like really funny. Like it'll come full.
Is that how bad jokes work?
Yeah, it's like the first time you get a laugh, and then the second time it's like, oh, okay, they said it twice. But by the third time, it's like, oh, fuck yeah, that's a good one.
I'm gonna make you roll a persuasion check on my humor, and we'll see how that goes.
I will probably roll really high with this character, so
Which
let's
is
do
bad.
it. Well, do you want a deception check or a persuasion check?
Persuasions. So you hear that.
Sorry.
Cool. And so 2 of the things broke off to try to like do their
Yeah, they're like putting the cup. They're finishing up right now, putting the cup back up on the pedestal.
and so
And the other one is still swooping, kind of like looking like it's coming back in towards you.
okay. What do I do?
A chess timer.
Huh?
A chess timer.
Oh, I know, right?
We have those 5, 10, 1 minute timers.
That's true. We do.
No, good.
No pressure.
Thanks. Just here's a timer. No pressure.
Ooh, he went green.
Right? I don't know. Like, the thing is I don't feel like Kaster really wants to fight this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's also
And what would Kaster want to do?
like, what the fuck is wrong with it? Like, that's what Kaster would want to know.
Kaster
like,
wants to fix it.
Yeah, not
Well-
necessarily fix it because I don't even know that it's broken yet. I don't like Kaster doesn't even know why are you doing that thing?
Why?
Let me see if I've got some little characters here. So then, I mean, I'm not saying you can't do that, right? But make
Sure.
an argument how and what you're doing
Right. Well,
within the mechanics of the game, possibly.
sure. And I mean, I have some things, but I don't feel like I have the things that specifically apply to this.
Well, I mean, give me an argument. What kind of skills do you have?
So I have like administration, engineering, cog science, psychology, physiology. I know, right? Yeah.
I would say, what engineering skill do you have, right? Like, what is it specifically in, right?
Would that be electronics?
I'm not asking you to see what you have in skills, right?
No, that's totally valid. I just am not sure.
Because
when I'm- Yeah.
What skills do you use to work with Pollux? Or have you used to work with Pollux in the past?
I mean, I feel like all of like.
Can I
So-
see your character sheet?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, I'm just before I hand it to you what I've written down is like, so I've got under hardware, I've got electronics, and then like I've got psychosurgery. Yeah, I'll just hand it to you. I don't think I have anything that you need.
Interface and infosec would probably be.
Oh, I do have some of that.
Those would be.
Yeah, you've got a reasonable interface, which I would say like would give you a little something, at least an ability to try at it. So yeah, I would say that's probably the best. Taking a look at what you've got here.
This is why you need your own skills, because yours would be much higher than mine in that area.
Oh well, that I do have. I have infosec anyway.
So I'd say yeah. So roll. So your skill's 45.
I do interface.
Give it a roll. So this is going to take up. This is you recalling something. So I'm going to say this is going to be a quick action in this case. You could still take a complex action afterwards.
And this is percentile?
Yep. 45 or less.
41. 10. No.
40-10?
No. 14.
Yay!
Sorry. I was like, what?
It's 10-4.
I was convinced that I failed. That's why.
So what you get from that in terms of interface is it comes to you that excuse me. Thank you. These things, it's not so much like it's a physical attack that's happening, but you are trying to interrupt its processes, and it's coming across to your psyche, and maybe this is where a little like some of your psychosurgery is sort of helping with this. It's coming across to you as a combat because you are like, force quitting the program, right? And that's how it's being represented to you. But it is not so much like a physical combat. I don't know if that makes you feel any better about it, but like that's sort of why Pollux has sort of introduced you to it this way. Is like, hey, this is what needs to be done is basically force quit, so this thing can possibly reset. Yeah, you roll 14. That's all I'm going to give you for that.
Okay. Cool.
So you still have a complex action, which could be going on defense, could be attacking, could be any number of things.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'll still stay on defense. Like I heard that shot, but like nothing's happened in my space yet. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
So it's coming at you. You're making a fray divided by 2 plus 30 check for you, and it is firing at you, but it does. You were also aware that it looks like the other two, since they finished with a cup, are now kind of starting to wheel on you. Maybe not this like right now, but it's like they're kind of get into the fray.
Okay.
So I can better turn. Yeah. Here we go.
No. Wait, what is that?
I don't know. Would you roll?
Just an 80.
Yeah. So that's fail.
Okay. Yeah.
So it hits you. It rolls a 1. And it is going to, but it's not a success, like a crazy success.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Only 3 points of stress off a 2d10. Lucky.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that's below your trauma threshold.
Correct.
Cool. So you're good for now.
Half of it.
It hurt a bit. It smarts. All right, then we are popping back over to Truth Seeker.
Yep.
You not only have heard gunshots at this point, but you're also hearing like Dirty Harry quotes.
Okay.
Like right next to you.
Yeah.
Like right next to me, right next to me?
Right next to you.
I want to... Is there a way I can, like, investigate my surroundings to, like, see if I can find
So
anybody? I mean, I saw Comms 3 with, like, a Dirty Harry gun, and I was sitting next to them while they were making all their, like, weird references. So I'm like, I feel like making an assumption, as my character's making an assumption that Comms 3 is near me. So, like, can I try to find them? Or, like, look for them?
how are you going to do that?
I guess I would either, investigate would be the best one to do.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Or perceive.
Which one's better?
They're both 80.
Fuck you. So first off, this is, just to be clear, this is going to take a complex action, right? So that's going to take your turn sort of doing this, potentially. Unless you roll really well. But yeah, I think that's absolutely what you can do. Honestly, whatever, either one of those works, and I'll describe it in a different way, like potentially in a different way, however you see it. Actually, I would say perceive. Perceive.
Perceive. I'm looking for the real truths. Got a 64.
64. So what's really cool about this is two things. So you did it a little faster than you expected to. Mm-hmm. Which is represented by the fact that you got over 33, right? So it's a superior success.
Right.
So I'm only going to say that this takes a quick action. So you're still going to have a complex action after this. But you remember when it came into this sort of realm, the machine layer, and now be a great time, Bill, to trigger that dark matter map one if you've got a chance. Image to put up on the screen. But all of you sort of had this strange moment that I described where you could kind of like see through the walls to like all of the branching sort of pathways of different rooms leading off into the sort of like glowing nexus in the distance, like the sort of weird ethereal sense of where you are, right? Mm-hmm. So in that similar way, you see as you're trying to perceive around you, you have this moment where you kind of like cross your eyes, magic eye style, and you're kind of like perceiving a different depth. And as you do so, you see like an overlay of your room match with an overlay of another room. And basically the scene I've been describing with Dirty Harry over there pops up into your room with you. Like you now see it like happening in just like this other part of the room right next to you.
So I can see both happening?
Yeah. It's you, and now looks like a single image. Right, and maybe it's a little jarring in the same way that everywhere we've been here is jarring, right? And this day is doing sort of like stress to you a little bit. In fact, you take 2 like stress just kind of seeing this, but you actually feel a little, maybe a little better, perhaps.
Okay, so can I interact with both rooms now?
I don't know. You're gonna try? You have complex action.
Yeah. So for my complex action, I basically like. I think at this point I'm kind of freaked out, and seeing like another one of my party, I'm like, okay, like we need to regroup, and I'm gonna try to just like go up to Comms 3 and be like, we gotta find the others, and do like a back-to-back like defensive thing if that's possible. Like
Dirty Harry
full
style.
defense.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So
basically, like I want to watch the one that was in my room, and I know that Comms 3 is interacting with one clearly. Like I'm watching them. They just like are smacking each other's pistols out of each other's hands.
Nice. So Comms 3, make a will check. That's the triple the will thing, right? For
So 45 is your gotta go under that.
Did it 40?
Nice. So you recognize that this would be jarring and painful in a similar way that maybe like Truth Seeker kind of had jarring, but for you it's like almost seemed like an easy like, oh, of course I should have thought about this. Where Truth Seeker's room snaps into yours, and you feel Truth Seeker at your back, and you like you recognize this is my buddy getting on the the roller coaster with me, and now you see also though this other attacking like creature in the room with you, as well as the one before. But we'll get to you in a second. The other one is still attacking you. It's very focused on you. So
That's chill.
you're afraid of it by 2, but plus 30. Like, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
So for the folks back home, I'm rolling under a 63.
Nice. It's pretty solid.
Oh,
I rolled a 78.
Oh, it rolled a 17, so it hit you.
Oh no.
But not on a, no successes, or at least, or no superior successes. But it does 15 stress to you.
So
You
I
take
do
a
take a
trauma.
trauma finally.
So you're now at minus 10s for all your rolls, right? So keep that in mind. How are you doing on stress?
5.
God damn
How
it.
do you decide traumas? Like how many stresses?
You have a trauma threshold.
Okay,
If
so
you, in a single hit, if you go over that, then you get a trauma.
but in a single hit.
In a single hit, not total.
I'm at 62 stress.
Oof, cool. At any rate, so on to comms 3. So now you've got this new like snapped reality, which kind of makes sense to you. You're like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So have that.
So I want to reach out to the others.
How are you going to reach out to the others? Like, and by others, you mean
These two.
Okay. How?
It's a good question.
Yeah. I was like making an argument with one of your skills, perhaps.
Interface.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, is there some sort of connective tissue between these constructs? Because we made them snap together, so there's a function that is connecting them together. So there must be an interface. So I want to look for the panel, or like the virtual panel that. Or the linkage, and try to and then I guess I could use InfoSec to hack into that. Or is this all InfoSec?
I would say this would be interface in this particular case.
Okay.
So yeah, roll an interface and go from there. What's your interface?
85.
Nice.
This is everything.
This is your jam.
Yeah, I'm like.
Which is also why you weren't having an issue before with this. So this is perfect.
Just so you know, because we didn't go over the rules, you can't have above 80 in a skill. We can do it.
No. In certain cases, you can.
Oh, in certain cases you can?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You can't have a raw 80, but you can have like specialties that bump you up there, which I think
That's what this is.
Yeah,
So it's specifically something
Well, tell us what this
digital speed or expert training
hell yeah,
that
cool.
did it.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, it's tailored for you.
42. So I'm well within.
Yeah, so in the same way, this would have been a complex action, but I'm going to give this as a quick action for you because you did it with a superior success, right? Over a 33. So what you do is you now sort of see the sort of digital pathway where like this one was overlaid now with sort of a connection for True Seeker, but you go one step beyond with your interfacing ability and your connection to this place and the mesh before, right? And you actually draw everybody together. So you see at the same time as Kaster would, all of this snapping into a single frame, and all of you actually end up having to be sort of back to back in the center of your rooms to a certain extent, where your rooms are actually not perfectly overlaid, but it's more like you're in sort of a cross pattern, right? So you're in the center of now this new larger room that is maybe like, at the point of intersection where all 4 of you are, but then your individual rooms are sort of branching out from there, at least at the moment. But it does look like things are maybe slowly merging together towards the center.
All right.
So you got a complex action. You could take a shot, do a thing, whatever.
I'll take a shot. I think I'm still gonna pistol whip it, but I'm just gonna hit it with the pistol.
No, I like it. So make your melee.
You pistol whip that shit.
I'm just gonna pistol whip.
Pistol whip that shit. Yeah, so no minuses on it this time, just a straight attack. And what do
All
you
right,
got?
I hit 45.
Well, maybe you hit. We'll see. It still has to do its defense. Yep, you definitely hit it. So 45, you actually rolled more than a 33. So, Josh, what is your Duroplast things? Like, what's the damage on that one?
Oh, I'm pretty sure they're 2d10s as well.
2d10s? I'm going to say that for this case, like, the way this is working is that your pistol whipping is doing the same thing. It's kind of like seems to be a nice kind of flat weapon damage that people have been
I just
doing.
haven't hit anybody yet, so I'm sorry.
14.
Whoa. You actually clock it so hard that it staggers backwards a bit and looks like very dazed. So it took 14. Who was the highest that perception we were talking about? You were both like I think you had like 50. No, you had the low one. Kaster, you had 50.
Of perceive?
Perceive minus 20.
50.
50,
Yeah.
I think.
Mine's 60.
60, okay. You notice, like, because now you're kind of present in this room, so all four of you are now in the same sort of location,
Okay.
right? Fighting your individual pieces, but it's there.
I was looking at the
I
wrong
brought
thing
us all
for the damage.
together.
I was looking at the
Nice.
diamond axe because they're stacked.
Cool, we're still counting as 2d10.
Okay, cool.
Are we like
so-
all back to back? Or
Yeah,
Kind
you're
of.
all sort of back to back.
Kind of
in a
like
way.
as though the corners of the rooms are.
Exactly. The rooms are actually looking like they're starting to merge more and more.
Mm.
But it's like you are all staying at the same location. The rooms are sort of moving around you. They're now moving in together, but you're all like touching each other and actually getting a sense of sort of calmness from that, perhaps.
Cool.
So you did 14. So Truth Seeker, you notice, especially, and actually you both as well, Comms 3 and Kaster. Each of the things that you're sort of fighting, well, yours especially, but like all sort of flinch when you pistol whipped it like that. So, that's what I'm gonna say
So
about
they're
that.
all like the same.
I'm not gonna tell you anything.
Are they going to all merge together too?
Hey, let's keep going. Comms 3, it's going to come at you and take a shot, but it kind of took a step back, so it's just firing at you normally. But it looks like it's going to take a moment to like take aim at you, and so roll me your fray -2.
-2.
Sorry, divided by 2.
Oh. Fail. 46. I was supposed to get like 33.
So you rolled a 40 out of 45, so it did succeed and did superiorly.
Ouch.
That's a way to say it.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch. So it does 7 stress to you.
Oh.
Okay.
What's your trauma threshold?
6.
Okay, so you get 1 trauma. It's going to give you a -10 for future rolls. Keep that in mind. At least for now, right? And then just keep track of all your overall stress.
-10. Okay.
Penelope.
So, but yeah, so asking that question out loud, but then Penelope does want to use her program skill to actually try and figure out what's going on and see if she can figure this code out.
Sure, sounds good. What's your programming skill?
45.
All right, make a roll.
Try something.
Can you lend a
Shooting it
assist?
doesn't work.
Not in this combat because it's kind of like all happening fast, right?
Sure.
Oh, but I have -10 because I have 1 trauma, so it would actually be 35, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I rolled a 68.
Oh, still failed that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say like the sort of downside to this is that it took you longer to do than you would have thought, right?
Yeah.
It didn't quite come out. So you're thinking about it, and it's possible. It's like coming to you, but you've spent your round doing that, basically.
Yeah. Not quite my usual graphical interface.
There is a lot going on, and this place is
This is
really
command line shit.
confusing, and exactly. Like this is like base code.
It's gonna piss her off,
This is
though.
this is inelegant weaving for you. This is just like
Not piss Penelope off, but definitely.
Decompose?
This is like when you're like embroidering something and then you flip it over and realize it's all tangled on the backside.
Oh, fuck.
There's a little frown of consternation. Like, Why can't I get this?
I like that. So frog jumps at you again.
Stupid frog.
Yep.
So then my fray is -10 as well.
Everything is at this point. So this is just a melee or fray, whichever one's better for you.
I wish my melee was better.
That's going to be on a t-shirt at some point too, right?
Don't we all?
Yeah, definitely fray. Oh, I failed that real hard. I rolled a 95.
That's right. So did it. It sails by you.
Yay.
Caster.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, yo?
Not much. We're just chilling.
We found you.
We're all together now. This is more complicated. That's fine. This is fine.
Yeah, it is.
If I end up wearing a dog suit and the room catches fire, we all know why. That's cool. This is fine.
What?
It's a meme joke.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
This is fine.
Hashtag mean jokes.
Hashtag impeachment hearings. So
So I was defending, and that didn't work out so well. But everyone's here now, and that's right. But that's like better and confusing. And so I saw Penelope sort of do a thing, and that looked like that was a thing to do.
Have you ever told you how much I love the eloquence of your words?
I'm so sorry.
No,
They're extra
I do
uneloquent
love-
today.
We're all there. Because honestly, I'm just so distracted thinking about the meteor shower about to happen. So
Right.
T-minus 1 hour.
And I'm just hoping that my water's back on when I get home.
It's been a rough month.
It's been a rough month. Oh, but I'm so happy to be here. So,
Same.
in any case, I do though feel like Kaster in general, like what I keep sort of thinking about is there's a certain amount that like Kaster probably still feels like, even though like Kaster got wrecked a little bit, but still feels protected by Pollux. Like we're still within Pollux's realm, and like I don't really know what this is, but like sort of observational. Like there's not for a long time been a part of Kaster that requires Kaster to like fight or flight, right? It's more like observe, like pull back and observe, if anything. So in any case,
Fight, flight, and introvert.
yeah, that sounds very familiar. Yeah,
Is that a meme too?
yeah. Only if my life is a meme, and which it kind of is, and so yes,
Here we go.
you're welcome. Anyways, so I feel like
Next Halloween?
yes, I condone this.
Yes, please.
So yeah, they really want me, and I just want to like make them go back to their processes.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know. Like that's because like I'm really strong in research. I do have that programming ability.
What's your programming at?
Programming is at 45.
Okay. I'd say research is a little less appropriate right now.
Right,
it's like,
because
you
it
know,
takes time.
It's not
Yeah.
instantaneous by any means.
No,
But
absolutely.
I would say programming is a valid thing. If you're really like unwilling to distinctly engage in like mortal combat, perhaps you're looking for an alternate method.
I feel like Kaster doesn't fully get it, to be honest. It's like Kaster does know melee, but like Kaster's been doing that as like a form of meditation or like a thing that you do. It's like, wait a minute, what? Like this thing is trying to attack me. Does this apply to this? Like, also melee is super low. Just letting you.
I know Kung Fu.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have a couple ideas for this.
Okay.
Roll a programming.
Okay. These things and this thing. And that's a 1 and that's a 6. 61.
Cool. So, what you get out of that is you get a fail. Not a real bad fail, but I will give you a little something with it. So you're not sure what to do yet, but you feel like within your own wheelhouse there may be a alternate method that could still work the same way for these things, as opposed to like a more psychologically brutal visualization of what's happening. But that's where I'm going to leave that for now.
Okay.
Meanwhile, these forms are coming at you. Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Got it.
Meanwhile, as this is happening, all of you are noticing like that the rooms are starting to converge a little bit, and that same sense, like you're also still being able to see like outside of the sort of like the room towards the broader whole of these like tendrils traveling through space, and you also see that it's not just the rooms, but actually like several of these tendrils are of rooms, right, are also converging simultaneously. Like you're all sort of part of this same flow structure, something that is heading off towards the distances is kind of coming together. So yeah, it's coming at you, a little pew pew, little dragonfly dive bomb. So it's actually working sort of a concerted effort. Like all little turrets come out, and they're taking a little like strafing run at you.
Where do you get a set of those?
Like
Turrets?
turrets,
just turrets?
become the machine realm. I don't know. This is popping up in your imagination somehow.
Okay,
I'm
great.
The fembots from Austin Powers.
Does not hold up.
Never seen a single one of those movies all the way through.
Don't start.
Make a defense roll.
Okay. How do we calculate defense? Is it just here?
It should be fray divided by 2.
Flip. Okay. Got you.
It's like roll under a 7.5.
I know, right?
Or an 8. I think you round up.
Well, it's an 81, so that's...
Cool, so that's a real bad fail.
Yeah.
It failed way worse. Critically worse, in fact, at a 99.
Did it blow up?
Did it
No.
shoot itself?
It does not. But you basically see, like, each time they've kind of swooped over you, like, the turret is sort of opened up, and, like, pew, and then...
Right.
This time you see it kind of opening, and it looks like it jams a little bit. And so they kind of, like, angrily buzz, and then kind of move off for a moment.
Okay.
All right, back around to Truth Seeker. These rooms are continuing to converge.
Okay, and so I noticed that they all seem to be taking damage together. I essentially want to just... There's still the same one coming at me, it just shot me pretty hard.
It seems real focused at you, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go just take a couple swings at it, I guess. Fuck it up.
Yeah, you're just like, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's what my knuckles say.
What?
I made a joke to Abby earlier. I said,
Oh,
that's what my knuckles say. Thoughts and prayers.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Right. Yeah, come at it.
Yeah. I rolled a 1.
Like a 1-1?
Like a 1-1.
Cool. Unfortunately, it also succeeded with a higher number than you at a 32.
Okay.
So it dodges.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. You're bad.
No, you're good.
It's still doing great. So it's toe to toe with you though, and it's trying to fire at you. But it's got sort of in its way, and there's now a lot of other people in its way. So it looks like it's having difficulty aiming at you. Exactly.
For sure.
So roll your afraid of ammo 2.
I failed.
Like, yeah.
Like I got a 70.
Oof. It succeeded. Rolled very well. But does not do a ton of damage to you. I mean, it does, but 6.
Okay.
No more additional traumas.
So much stress, though.
Off the comms 3. It's coming at you. What are you doing?
Emboldened by my recent success, I'm gonna pistol whip it again.
Yes! I'm liking this. All right, come at.
It's the best thing that I've got at this point.
No, that's good. I like it.
Ooh. Oh no, good. Sorry. Good.
What'd you roll?
28.
Cool. So it's a straight up success. No superior ones, but roll me 2d10. And like clocking it. You were really successful with the pistol whip.
14.
Ooh, you're very consistent with your damage as well. Again, now all of you are kind of clued into this, and you definitely see them all like sort of flinch back, move, and do like kind of like be whipped by this, right? In some way or another, you see them all sort of like reacting. Not like they took the same hit, perhaps, but they're all twitching.
But they reacted at the exact same time that I did it.
Distinctly.
And so I'll look around at everyone and say, "Did you see that?"
Yeah, totally. Are we allowed to respond out of turn?
I mean, of
Automatic.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
no
I
real
mean,
talking limitations except for like a be reasonable if it's taking more than
I'm
like
not going to give a
seconds.
soliloquy. but-
Yeah.
well, I also feel like it's also like you just don't want to get too meta. Like you can have a response, but not be like, oh yeah, and by the way, can we figure out this plan right now?
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Penelope.
So Penelope notices that they're all flinching. She's gonna turn around and
Every now and then I get
Everybody takes psychic damage.
can she see the damage visibly on these creatures?
You didn't. Now you kind of say that. You sort of see what looks like, in that sort of magic eye, cross eye sense, like what looks like less damage and more like a unfurling of that program yarn, right? Kind of idea. Like things are getting a little frayed, perhaps.
So cool. She's gonna turn around and fire over the head of the kid with the red balloon at the other one.
Currently, Dr. Strangelove holding a dirty, hairy weapon. I lost track of.
it's changing all the time.
Yeah. I forgot that you were Dr. Strangelove.
All right, so you're fired at it as its creature as opposed to yours.
Yeah.
I like that. So yeah,
See if that works.
are you taking aim first?
Yes, we were taking aim. So
Cool. It is rolling a 25 for Frey.
gun, so 50. Damn it. Rolled an 81.
It's been a common number.
You miss.
Gee, really?
This is how you lost the arm. Not again, Grandma. Kaster.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, wait. So you turned around. The frog is kind of trying to leap at you again at this point, though. Make a for melee or fray, whichever is better for you.
Freyley.
Freyley.
Sounds like a druid spell.
Ooh.
Shillelagh.
Right?
Nice.
You definitely miss. Or it definitely missed. Or you definitely dodge it. That one.
Mm-hmm.
It does not definitely miss you.
You golden.
I rolled
Yeah.
a 5.
Boom. Right? I love this game, actually,
Tuck and
for that
roll.
mechanic. Like, tweaking my brain and how I'm approaching things for, like, high rolls, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Right.
Great. So it matches you and passes over the caster.
Mm-hmm.
What you doing? It is your turn.
Well, that was super cool. Saw you saw Penelope interact with the other thing. So maybe like Kaster's like, okay, gathering more data on like what's happening with these different things in the different rooms, and we don't really have weapons. That's not something we've thought about or programmed for a long time. But maybe we'll try to hit one. That seems legit. Seems like a solid thing.
Use the cup. Improvised weapons is the thing.
Is that a thing?
I was just looking at that section.
Thank you, friend.
Sorry, that was metagaming. I was just trying to be helpful.
I mean,
it's good. Again, in this case, think
Right?
outside of the box. I mean, literally, we're in. So, I mean, we're in a world that is
No,
full
no,
of
I get it.
representation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So think about what that might mean.
A bottle is 1d6 minus 1 damage.
I mean, I'm also
It's
like,
also in the physical world. So.
I'm trying to be the character too.
No, which is great.
Yeah,
You're doing
yeah,
a great
yeah.
job. I'm real
Cool.
happy with everything happening here. I want to be
Cool,
clear.
cool.
You're
Yeah.
just like, this is not the ordered world that I'm used to, let alone the little box that Pollux had you in
Right.
when you were interacting with it at this point.
Right. So the cup that was in my room, is that still just like hanging out? Like,
It's so it's now sort of really close to all of the other objects as the rooms are sort of merging together. So the cup is sort of getting there
but the enemies are between us and those objects?
currently.
Okay. Cool. Then I just have my psycho fists, my brain fists.
Psycho brain fists.
So like,
I like it.
I like
I
the
don't have
Fangella
any like
fists.
skills for it or stats for it at the moment.
No melee?
Well, no, like, obviously everybody has some amount of melee.
Yeah.
But I don't have, like, anything specific. But I would say that Kaster definitely has, like, in their mind, a remembrance of, like, Tai Chi, Taekwondo, like, those kinds of, like, traditional physical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, maybe they're just gonna try to swat one of these dragonflies. See what happens. Like, just
Rubbing on the sky. I like it.
that's exactly it. Is I want to grab one
Come here.
and then smash it into my other hand.
Yeah, I like it. You went from pacifist to like bug swatter. All right. So, what is your melee skill? Do you have that, or can figure it out quick enough?
Oh, it's the same as my Frey, because isn't it based off of Frey?
It's not based off of Frey. Frey is a different thing. Frey is
It's your Psalm and your phrase, your ref.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have any points in melee, so it's
So that's fine. It should just be a
it's
flat
15.
15?
Yeah.
That's totally fine. I'm gonna say that these things are actually looking a little distracted right now for a reason, and so you've got a plus 10 on it.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna say you have a plus 20 because you've actually got some homies around you, and this is sort of making it like harder for them to like dodge and navigate around you right now. So you got a plus 20 on your roll.
So we're going for 35?
Yeah, 35 or lower for you.
Okay. Oh, God. No!
What?
It's 96.
High roller.
Oh, I thought you were saying 99 for a second. You're good.
Am
You
I?
failed, but you're not super bad.
He's right. You can't break the fist, so
Right.
or can you?
Yeah.
So you just miss. Nothing happens.
Okay,
It's fine.
great.
So you see them kind of like swoop by you and like just dot. Like when you move forward, they kind of like just sort of do an evasive maneuver, and you see the like one of them actually like land on top of the other, which lands on top of the other. Like they kind of stack in a strange way. And you see like little tools sort of protrude out and are like fixing the sort of like the jammed gun port, and that's its turn.
Cool. Is it still my turn?
That was your complex action, was trying to attack it. You could
Right.
do like a quick action or something along those lines.
I don't know that stepping over to it and kicking it is a quick
That would be another
action.
complex action.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You haven't seen my feet; they're real fast.
They're my mind feet.
Mind feet,
They're-
mind bullets. That's telekinesis, Kyle.
These are my mind Air Jordans.
All right, so we're popping back over to Drew Seeker.
Okay, well, so I've seen that Penelope's kind of harmed him with her gun. Nobody else has really done any damage except you.
No, I did lots of
Pistol
it. I
whipped
did
The
a lot of
pistol whip has done the majority of the
I
damage.
did
at
the
this point,
damage.
actually.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna keep trying to fight off the one that's coming at me. I don't really know what else to do.
That seems pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, I'm just gonna take another freaking swing at it.
Do it.
Cool. I like freaking swing at it.
That's just a fail.
So it has a super success, but it's so it just dodges you.
Yeah.
Dude. So then it's gonna take a shot at you again. Man, this is not looking. You're just real effective, like slapping things with the truth.
I'm not. Though.
I know. It's like in here. It seems like
You're just
the truth
absorbing
is
a lot
eluding
of.
you,
Yeah.
perhaps in here.
That's true.
Oh, but it misses. Try to fire at you. So you are still good for now.
Cool.
All right, give it the balloon dirty Harry.
Oh,
Dr.
now,
Strangelove.
yeah, I'm.
This is my
full,
jam.
Full chimpanzee now.
Yes, with a gun.
Yeah.
Pistol whipping with a gun. Yes, I like this. Continue.
but I miss.
Go 2-8.
So, yeah, see, don't go too ape.
Okay.
So
Reel it back in.
it levels off at you. Make a defense. So Frey divided by 2.
Just make it
What's your total?
32.
Nice.
I needed a 33.
Cool. That's awesome. So it succeeded as well, but since you both succeeded, you go for contested rolls. Your roll is higher, so you take it.
I did a matrix.
So you're good.
I did a matrix.
Yes. Pew. So creepy. Penelope.
Penelope's eyebrow is just twitching wildly.
Just one eyebrow.
Just one eyebrow. Monobrow.
Yeah. Not quite like that, but
Yeah.
there's
Disapprovingly.
there's a lot of disapproval. So we're gonna fire at the one with Dr. Strangelove again. So take
Slash
aim.
monkey. Slash whatever. Oh shit, busy. Have that.
Oh man, I messed up that last roll. I failed it so hard anyway. But
So what is your gun skills normally?
so my gun skill normally is 60, but the -10 and the +10 with the aim just.
Cool. I'm saying you have an additional +10 because it is so not focusing on you right now, actually.
Oh, okay.
So you're at 70, right?
70.
Okay.
I rolled a 65.
Nice. So that means you succeeded. It also succeeded, but with nowhere near that level of success. So roll me 2d10 plus a d6.
And the +2.
Why +2?
That's what the damage value says.
Cool, do that. I'm fine with that.
15.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. All right, so here's an interesting thing that happens. So at that point, you see them all like take a sharp step back, and the rooms at this point sort of like snap together, like fully overlapping. As this happens, like the cup, the fountain, the clock, the projector reel all sort of like merge together as well. The creatures all sort of like step together and sort of like, blinding light as you're sort of recognizing like the weave coming together in a new representation. You sort of pan out with your vision and see the tendrils like combining as well. And as this new room forms around you, a couple things become apparent. One, it's bigger than what the room, like you're also standing relative to each other in the same place. It's now a much larger space. You have a sense of weightlessness, which is strange now in a weird cognitive dissonance sense of, wait, weird, what does that even mean in a sense of where you've been virtually? So that's a little strange and weird. Mm-hmm. But you get a sense that you could navigate through the space, perhaps, like, bouncing, jumping off things, etc. So you're basically in a free fall kind of environment. And you see the objects as they sort of merge together, sort of like fill the room with what looks like liquid in a way, which is sort of accounting for the weightlessness. Y'all are not worried about breathing. It's kind of just realizing it's sort of this strange, almost like underwater feel. It's more adding like a weird optical illusion to the location than anything else. While the creatures all sort of merge together, and you see that weave extends past them now, back towards like this other side of the room, and you see this mechanical octopus, for lack of any other better term, and these things are an extension of a limb of it, like one particular tendril, and you see the other rooms that are all sort of lining up outside, like those other tendrils kind of reaching down there, all sort of merging together as well as it sort of forms this 8-tentacled like octopus, and it's coming at you. So now I'm gonna have it roll in on initiative, and we'll pop it in the board somewhere. It's going last, so it makes it easy.
Sweet.
Fantastic. So Penelope, you're up next, and now like instead of any particular thing, like everybody having their own bit, it is all focused on this big baddie.
Okay. You said Penelope, and that's...
My apologies. So therefore it is Kaster's turn, is what I meant by that.
Cool. I just saw some shit go down.
I would have you like just roll me I'm gonna call this a passive programming check, but or anybody that has programming skill can also make this roll. I'm curious. /infosec / whatever.
-20, I'm good.
I do have an info set.
Yeah.
I think I have...
I bumped up some weird stats.
Get out of my thing.
Ooh, I did really well.
Sorry.
This might be you then.
Play.
Oh.
33.
Good.
So my programming is 45.
You definitely got it. And this also happens pretty fast too, so that kind of justifies you here. So I'm gonna say like through this conversation, did you also succeed? Or?
Yeah, I rolled a 14 out of 35.
Cool, nice. So y'all did pretty well, and it's kind of like y'all hear each other having sort of like verbal processing, perhaps, of what's happening. And it's all sort of merging together in that same kind of streamline. Although I think you succeeded with the best score on it. You're realizing that like these things all certainly were like subroutines, like all linked particularly like with whatever branch of programming that you were in down here. Hence why they were all taking that sort of damage simultaneously, is that you were chipping away at different facets of the program, which now has sort of like been retracted together into the larger prime level of the program. That was handling other things that were going wrong, but realizing that this is the piece where everything is going wrong at, right? And needs to be reset, which you're already like well along the way towards doing, actually. Like the arm that you were attacking is sort of looking a little more shriveled, perhaps, in that frayed kind of sense, right? But Kaster, it's your turn.
Cool. Like, I know we want to reset it, but I feel like Kaster doesn't fully understand this sort of like bizarre, like augmented, like representation of resetting it. But that being said, like it worked.
Beat some sense into it.
Right. I know. Like, wait, what? I can't just look at show me your numbers. Could you just show me your just gonna reprogram.
So the programming check you just did also, which didn't take up any time basically, it was all just like such a shared event. But it did remind you that like there was some other alternative you felt like you could possibly pursue. But it's just like something that you kind of remember from some facet of a buried memory, but is not coming to the surface currently.
Rude.
I don't know, roll better.
Dice don't lie.
I'm out.
Seek some truth. Burn. Come on.
Great. Okay, so now that like this thing has turned into like an octopus thing, and we're all like back to back, how is it taking?
I want to show you, by the way, that it looks kind of like this.
Oh, BA.
On a very large scale.
Yeah.
But,
how is it? I guess. How is it taking up space in relation to us? Is it now just sort of like classic JRPG, like boss in front of us, and we're all just like lined up,
blinking and moving fast?
Yeah,
we're all like kind of swaying in place.
Yeah, so it's basically like you're now in this. So the room like now looks like a conglomeration of a bunch of different rooms have sort of like piled on. So it's a weird sort of disjointed geometric piece. Like imagine a bunch of cubes that have now overlaid and but not into a perfect bigger cube, but more like a large rectangular room that has sort of oblong weird pieces where it's overlapped. It's like an empty space in between, but it is kind of like jarred and jumbled. And it's at the far end of this room. That is, not terribly close to you, but in this skin, I'll say a single move will get you there, right? In this mind space. But it is this weird sense of you're in free fall, which is a little strange, right? You're in this zero gravity kind of environment.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like.
Yeah, that was
a little bit. Only a little bit. There's some part of like Kaster in this sudden free fall that's like cool. We now have more data to work with. There's more options. But that being said, Kaster kind of still only like knows like, cool, do I just like hit it with my mind hands, like, or whatever. But now I have friends.
Defrag the hard drive.
Right.
Defrag the hard drive.
Yeah. I mean,
with your fists.
No illegal fragging, please.
Hey, it's just love.
Consensual fragging?
Yes. I kind of really want to play with the gravity. And, like, Penelope's not going to be happy with this, but I really want her to, like, throw me over there, or like I'm gonna push off you. Like we need to get over there.
Penelope is actually super into this because I was going to do a thing. So
Cool. So, and are we all floating? Has it now become like a 3D sphere, or is there still ground? Or
There's still a ground. It's not sphere. It is very much, like I said, like that rectangle. You're up
Right.
against the
Okay.
wall in the corner, and it's basically the far end.
Great. So
You're floating-ish off the ground, but you weren't really like pushing off of it much. So it's not like you're drifting. You're kind of just there.
cool. Then I honestly I would be like, let's push off this wall, like all of us, like at once. And then like
Anime action scene.
yeah, basically. And then I basically do that. Like if I would offer like a hand, like hold me, and I'll like and launch myself with my feeties.
The free fall ability.
Graffiti's. Yeah. So do you have a free fall ability or anything along those lines?
No.
It's based purely off reflex.
No, I lied. I do. I have
Free fall
40 in
Somatic.
free fall,
We'll get something else here, I guess.
which is a total of 55.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Cool. Roll it.
Cool. I get these.
Basically, this is a how I'm seeing this is still part of your movement, but this
Sure.
is a sense of, are you going to go the direction that you want to go? How experienced are you?
No,
with
I
doing-
totally I
Right.
get that.
Or are you going to like hockey puck it or air hockey puck it across the?
I'm
Do
ready
they get
for
any
that.
bonuses because they're using Penelope as help?
I don't know, Penelope. What's your free fall ability?
10, and with my
No.
minus 10, 0.
No.
Sorry, I tried.
Did you though?
I'm the will in this part
No,
because Will usually does that.
I got 64.
Terra Sentia game.
It's important.
64.
So here's how this goes. This would be fine if you had a ranged weapon, but
Sure.
you basically veer off, and you're drifting towards it, but you're kind of going off at an angle, so you're going to kind of like ricochet off a wall, and you're not going to make it to it this turn.
Yeah.
Is kind of how that turns
This is
into.
valid. Yeah.
Uh,
Seems legit.
or will it? Because it's its turn now. And so
Is it though?
do me a favor. Each of you roll a d6 and tell me what you get. Just a straight number.
I don't have any straight numbers, but I got a 3.
Heh.
Womp.
And it's any gain numbers you want. 3. What'd you get?
6.
6.
1.
1.
4.
4. Cool. So the yeah, 3, 4, 1, 6. So the 4 and the 6, you do make it to it because its arm lashes out. One of its tendrils lashes out, and you as well. And basically kind of just like wraps you and pulls it in.
Perfect.
To it. Similar things happen to both of you, but it kind of just like it doesn't quite make it, or like the arm kind of veers off at some point. You notice that the arm that was down by you at this point is sort of like shriveled back towards it. But the other 3 arms, right, besides the 4 that shot out towards you, the other 3 arms you see sort of resolved in the distance, similar menial tasks that you were dealing with in the previous rooms, right? Along the lines of you see like one of them literally sort of like rebuilding a chair that collapses, like the arm is like there's little tendrils that come out of the arm and it's like rebuilding it and it falls apart. And you see another piece where it's like constantly like watering a flower, which then like wilts and then like kind of resets. So like you're seeing a series of other loops playing out that it's trying to handle that it's not doing very well at, right? That is sort of distracting those tendrils. Back to the top, Truth Seeker.
Okay. So I just saw 2 of my friends get snatched into this giant octopus thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I want to just like use my purchase, if there is any wall around me or whatever, and just like try to push off towards the octopus as hard as I can.
Roll a free fall.
Yeah. Mine's 50, by the way.
50. Cool.
Ooh.
I didn't get it.
Similar thing to Kaster. You gotta make it halfway down the room.
Okay. And then
You still have a complex action.
Is there a way to move more with your complex action? Like, is double moving in this game a thing?
I think so.
Do you earn that later? Is that like double
I would say
jump?
that would be where your action ends, I would say. Like, I might give that to you. I'm still learning the mechanics in that regard, but I think... Well, actually, hold on a second. Don't say that. So you could rush by using a complex action. I think because actually we're in zero gravity, low gravity kind of stuff, it takes more of a complex action to actually move. Basically, if like the free fall I was having is.
Like if I had succeeded, I could have done other things.
This is how I'm kind of playing it out in my head. If you had succeeded, then it would have been an easier move, and you could have done something else with it. So I'm going to say that you do make it to it, but that is the end of your turn because of basically having to take that full complex action. So that's kind of like the double move in this case, how I'm explaining it in my head. Cool?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm up in its face.
You're up in its whatever it's got.
I'm up in its orifices.
Do we need an NC-17 for this?
Yeah. Consensual, you're going to frag its
This is the tentacle porn part of your program.
Sorry.
Okay, you said it.
I'm in.
This is our plan all along.
Here for it,
Comes, what do you got?
Yo
Goes
comes.
which now. Continue pistol whipping.
Cool. So you have to get to it first, though. Oh, no, I pulled you in.
Ah,
So, yeah,
okay.
you're right. So are you attacking the tendril that you're at,
Basically,
basically?
yeah.
You're just like, are you saying anything to it? Or just in case any pop culture references come to mind? You don't have to, no pressure.
Maybe later.
Cool, you have a plus 20 to hit. Because it's big and holding you.
Awesome.
It's not grappling your arms.
No, but I still fail miserably.
It's like, it's kind of twisting and like, yeah, it's
I
twisting.
got a
you pretty hard.
91.
Yeah. So it's just like it's flailing you around, so it's hard for you to kind of like get control over where you're at. So you're not effective. You're like tapping it, but you're not effective. Penelope.
So since Penelope has 0 free fall, I would like to position her so that she can aim and fire, and the recoil will push her like back into a corner.
So Penelope realizes that if you fire at the creature, it'll do that
Yeah.
because you're sort of already backed into a corner.
Okay, cool. We just don't want to. We don't want to go bouncing around the room. We want to like stay pretty stable to where we are.
I'm making no promises, but
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna make you basically have to do another roll after this. So
Yeah, figured.
yeah. So have at. You also have a plus 20 to hit because it's roll big.
So 70 then.
Yeah, I figured you're gonna do some things. Is that including your minuses, right? Or
That's
minus?
including the minus 10.
Cool.
That's cocked.
No cocks in here.
11.
Uh-oh.
You definitely hit. Not extra special or anything, but you
definitely
no
hit.
Oh yeah, it rolled a 75.
And it takes...
No extra 6 this time though because you rolled lower.
Oh.
That only happens if you roll above a 33.
Oh, okay. It still takes 13 points of damage.
Yeah.
You actually
that shit
see at this point the coil that was around Kaster kind of like lets them go and kind of shrivels a bit at this point.
Bring my friends.
Yeah. So sorry, what was the exact amount again?
13.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Penelope just looks disappointed with the creature. Because she's like,
That's
why
all
did
you
this
got?
why did this programming go ever so wrong?
Oh man.
Honestly, today, that's all I got.
Okay. So then
I'm
Kaster,
the creature.
Mm-hmm.
you're in its grill
yeah.
and there's a shriveled tentacle next to you.
Great. And I'm
I
not
haven't even
being
done any damage yet.
Not held.
great. What?
Oh,
What?
I'll ask on the next round.
Okay. What happens?
Okay.
It worked out well enough for
Can
you.
I? The shriveled tentacle, is it still near me?
Yeah.
Can I beat it with its?
You're gonna grab the tentacle and slap it with its own tentacle? Sure.
I mean, I don't have weapons.
Yeah, sure. This seems.
I would say that's more like a chain, and that's a 1d10.
You're a GM. I got this.
It's the truth.
Weapons.
So I like that you went from like, no, none of this situation makes sense to me. I kind of just want to fight it. To I'm like, die! Hit it with its own tentacles. Slap them. Yeah, have that.
Stop hitting yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna slap it with
Here's your
itself.
motivator.
Yeah. So this is interesting. Make a melee check.
All right, it's gonna be the same as my fray, right? Not
No,
necessarily, but I
It's your
mean,
melee.
Oh, because you have no skill points in it, so it's based off the same skills. What you're saying?
yeah,
Yes. Do that.
great.
I would say because it's big, you'd have bonuses, but because you're hitting it with itself, it's a little weird. So I'm gonna say you do still get a +10 because this is oddly easy to do, but it's not like it comes naturally to you.
For
I
the reach.
suddenly know what
Yeah.
my dad felt like when I was 5.
So your melee would just be 15 then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
+10 with the +10 or without a +10? Straight 15 +10.
Oh yeah, I guess straight 15.
Straight
So-
15.
So,
Yeah.
so 25 total.
Great, cool.
You got this.
No, see, the thing is my dad used to like grab my hand and like hit me in the face with it and be like, "What are you hitting yourself? What are you doing?
Rude.
Yeah, well, you know, if Dad's watching this, whatever.
So okay.
Oh, so close. I got 26.
Oh, you needed 25?
Mhm.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
because it rolled terribly. You would have hit it, but unfortunately. All right, so
But we didn't. Did it hurt me?
not yet. It's
Okay,
turned
great.
out
Great.
though. So everybody roll d6 again.
Mm.
Except for you. You're still held. You're good. Actually, roll a d6. Yeah, I want to see if something happens to you. 5?
1.
1? Okay.
6.
6?
2.
2? Cool. So Nello grabs you.
Yeah, great.
Not the shoveled one.
I understand that it's
You rolled a
upset
1,
with
you're
me.
fine. You rolled a 5. 1 grabs you.
Okay.
And pulls you in, which is like you're kind of there anyway in its face, so it totally made sense.
Just like snatches me up.
Yeah. So what I need you to do for either of you that got grappled again here is make a fray roll. Just straight fray,
I failed.
Not halved.
not halved. This
Okay.
one's like a sort of a melee attach.
I got an ascendant, so.
Oh, 84.
Okay, so so you take 10 stress.
Okay.
You take 2 stress.
Okay.
And you're like, okay, fine.
Well, I wasn't
Hit you
sure
harder.
who the oof was for.
That was the 10. That was the oof one. All right, so
Wait, how many? Sorry.
2.
2. That's what I thought. And we only get a trauma if it's more than your threshold in one hit.
Yeah, correct.
Great.
So at this point, you kind of see like more of the other arms that are not doing anything. Like again, running cycles and circles. The shriveled arms are kind of like just retracting into its body. Who's taker?
So I am in a tentacle right now. Essentially.
Yes,
Wrapped up
wrapped in a tentacle right now.
Yeah.
You're a sushi.
I'm cool with that.
Too easy.
I want to. Tentacle has no weight either, right? Like if it's holding me, does that mean that if I wanted to
Are
move
we all
with
in
my
free fall?
skill, I can move towards its face?
I'm not sure how you're gonna move about being wrapped up in a tentacle, so that's cool.
I guess that's fair. Well, that's not my
It's still,
point. Like,
it looks like it's kind of bracing itself on multiple like locations, so it
Okay.
looks very tethered.
okay.
And you're in a giant muscle, basically. Mechanical
With the
muscle
brain.
thingy. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to like
Many
try to
ways.
like I want to like just punch it. I want it to let me go. Like I just want to kind of like try to like get it to
brain
like.
muscle.
I just do damage to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm just gonna like hit it off me.
Yeah, that sounds good. You're gonna beat it off.
Yes. Gonna beat off that tentacle.
All right. I got
Well, this went in a different direction than I was expecting.
You can't possibly say
I
that.
got a 28 for beating tentacles.
Is that good for you?
Yeah.
Cool. You hit it. It rolled, but it is looking like it's very like it's taken some traumas, perhaps. So
I feel like there's going to be an anime based off of this.
So my gloves
They're
are
already-
supposed to be 2d6 plus 2.
yeah,
Because they're unarmed with plus 2.
do that then. I'll do that.
That is 9, 11.
Nice.
No.
Times 1,000,000. So actually,
Never
both
forget.
arms that are grappling you two shrivel up. Yours doesn't.
No.
It's looking very shriveled, though.
So, but remains turgid.
Okay, but what's it really
Yes.
grappling when it comes to comms 3? What's it really grappling?
Numbers.
Whoa. What's it
If we're
grabbing
talking about
any of you
comms
right
3
now?
being
No,
tangible,
no,
what's
this is-
grappling us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
What's grappling what?
Uh-huh. Y'all just stuck in the code.
reality
It's all
does
just
not
green characters floating in the blackness.
Light a candle. All right, what are you doing? Pistol whipping?
Oh yeah.
Get it.
Get
I
it.
still can't believe that movie came out 20 years ago.
And I hit.
Shut
That's
your
an extra
mouth.
Well done.
success.
I believe it because I remember
Yeah,
exactly where I
39.
was
Definitely
when I
hit.
looked at them.
You got a 39? Cool. So roll 2d10 plus 6. I don't know how to roll that. Oh, shit.
19.
Plus 6, you say?
Plus a d6. Sorry.
Plus a d6.
Holy crap.
So
Now it's time for
so
Zoidberg's time to
22.
shine.
Wow. So at this point, it definitely releases you. In fact, you see all of the tentacles simultaneously kind of just like shrivel. And you see the it kind of like start retracting into its body. And at this point, you're kind of noticing the other pathways out here that have been sort of fractured and moving along, also curling back inwards towards itself. And as it kind of merges, you see this, it becomes overwhelming again to look at. Like I described last time, where you are, seeing something and you're seeing every little bit of information processing through. And I need all of you to make a will check, right? The save that is like the 3 times.
Oh, right. Where there's a will.
Wait,
All
3
of you,
times.
3 times your will is we had to roll
Oh,
under that.
got it.
Up Penelope.
45.
I rolled exactly double my will.
No.
So not good.
I don't know.
90?
Well, with the minus.
Oh, I did. Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Doubled it, 90.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 45.
Cool. So fail. What'd you succeed?
43. Succeed.
Succeed.
I feel like you
Succeed.
tainted
Got 20.
me.
Cool. So y'all are kind of used to this world at this point, and so it seems like it's not hitting you too much. But for both of you, you take 3 additional stress. Actually, 5. Sorry, there's a +2 in there.
Oh,
five stress.
Wow.
As it's just like you're seeing all of these loops, like simultaneously. You're seeing the clock like being repaired, but now is working smoothly. You're seeing the fountain flowing properly. You're seeing the teacup being there, being appropriately like steamed and heated and utilized. Like everything is sort of like running smoothly as this is like all coiling together. And what was this sort of like disjointed fractal, which you're realizing is sort of that element of the octopus, right? It's coiling in on itself. That's stuck in these loops, these tentacles kind of wrapping around. They're all sort of unfurling and coiling together again into ultimately this spherical shape, where things is now like a loop, but running smoothly in this way where it's supposed to. Like everything is happening properly, like running through a cycle that is appropriate and smooth. And as that happens, like the glow becomes like overwhelming to your senses, and you feel yourselves like flying back through, and this is kind of represents like some of that damage that you took psychologically through that light tunnel, right? Like 2001: A Space Odyssey sense, and like popping back into the room with the roller coaster trolley, and Pollux is like 7, 6, 5. Oh, you're back. Hello. Seems like all operations are running smoothly. Thank you.
What the Pollux, what?
They're not mentioning the time runs differently in the machine layer.
I mean,
No.
sure, but could you just like,
My apologies.
explain
You were stuck
anything in the machine layer?
While y'all are
Probably
talking
not to-
Pollux,
probably
they're
not to
just
you.
muttering to themselves.
No offense.
Why did you make me pistol whip an octopus?
We're gonna get you a t-shirt, yeah.
That's the fucking shirt right there.
Hold on, I'll make buttons.
Maybe that's the new episode title.
I
Why
just
did you
picture
make
like
me
an
pistol
innocent
whip?
little boy saying it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Mommy,
That was the 8-year-old.
why did you make me pistol whip an octopus?
Mummy,
Maybe.
Okay, but
God damn it.
now I need a
Mark.
freaking cup of tea.
Fucking got me.
I saw one break a million times, and now I need to
Trying to
drink
spill
one.
some
It's weird. It's
actual
like
tea.
what level of you actually requires that, needs that piece. I like it.
All levels.
All,
So my question is that this is Com 3's question, not me, but was that I understand that the programming was malfunctioning and creating this artifice that we were experiencing as the octopus, but is it supposed to be the sphere thing? Like, is it okay? Like, is there still something wrong? Did we fix it?
there is a lot currently wrong with the ship.
Did we win?
You won Eclipse Phase.
Do you know what winning is?
Pistol whipping an
I
octopus, apparently.
understand winning. Yes, winning is successful completion.
Of
Prescribed task.
who prescribed this task? What was the parameters of this task?
I think if you really want to get into it, winning takes a certain level of victory over another thing. Like, it's not just
Wow,
finishing a task.
you are pedantic.
You don't even see a physical representation of Pollux, but you know it's just sitting there sipping tea in the background. This is none of my business. Y'all keep talking amongst yourselves.
Pollux, we need...
We're all just like
We need
venting. We
to-
just had a problem and we fixed it, but we're just
I have
like,
86 stress right now. Nobody
wait a
got
minute,
me.
who the heck are you weirdos? Like, what are you doing in my system? Like, Jesus, this is your fault.
I belong in your system.
We need to
I
fix
don't know
this
what
overload.
you are.
Part of you.
I'm comms 3 and 2 and 1.
So Pollux says there's much work yet to be done to potentially correct the overload. For now, you have fixed a lot of the program or the processing errors that was inherited in this. There's going to be less of the rolling brownouts for now, but there is definitely still an issue of overall space, which is going to cause problems. To answer your question, the sphere is not the as you call it, right? That is not how I perceive it. But the programming, the processing daemons are now taking a new shape that I have prescribed, which I've calculated to be more efficient in the processing of the hold. And so, at least for now, this will be a more beneficial situation.
So this is a Band-Aid?
Yes.
What?
Possibly
Sorry.
more can be done or enhanced in the future, but others need to come up with that solution. I am not capable of that level of problem solving currently on a hardware level. Just saying. So now that we've dealt with that, a couple things come up. So first off, I'm gonna read a piece like that. You're all sort of going back and licking your wounds to a certain extent, your mental wounds in whatever form you need to, because many of you took a lot, some more than others, mental wounds wise.
I
So
didn't have a lot of. I had a lot to start. It was a good thing to start. You know, I was already at 50 something when we went in there.
oh, that's right. You're just rugged.
You need to run spa.exe.
Noted. So I like that a lot. Spa day. You're just hanging out with your truths.
Yeah,
And,
you know, just
and
seeping
hot,
in them.
and hot mud.
It can be good for you.
Truth seeping.
Yeah.
So what you cat don't phrase truth seeping. So we're getting close to wrapping up here because the meteor shower should be happening now, maybe not happening, who knows. We're gonna wrap up here shortly, next couple minutes. But in the meantime, a couple things happen. So as you're heading back on the nets in the next few hours, few days, you start seeing sort of like not necessarily stump speeches, but like candidate statements of some of the people for the putting themselves forward for the first among firsts. And here's a couple I'm going to read, and then we'll have more sort of come down the line in future episodes. Sasha might have you read a few, but I have very set personalities, shall we say. I think they're coming along. Shout out to Shanna for making a couple of these. I'm going to read you. To each their own frontier, I say. We have been given a fresh start. We are man primordial once again, or human primordial once again. This is no time to let government decide our evolution. All is new. Every person should take care of oneself to stand solitary in the face of this new beginning. Let the strong lead by example and allow the weak to fall away. Our greatest safeguard for the future of humanity is to embrace dominance of the mind, body, and intellect. Let us emerge organically to become the best of ourselves. And another pops up.
Merging. Sexy.
And we have lost our planet.
Something new.
This is a whole other character. We have lost our planet. We have lost ourselves. A cycle of regrowth and reincarnation is broken. We are but a consciousness floating through space who will never again be fully human without our mother. Our job now is to mourn and to remember, to live the last of our lives in service to this mausoleum of memory. So when we are found, here and there, through time and space, other life will know that we lived. But where we're left off is, Kaster, you make it back to your gobble hobble. Or
I wasn't just dropped here. That's great.
No, well, that's jarring enough as is.
Yeah. Thanks. No more traumas.
There is a there's like a light like blinking in your HUD though as you roll in. You recognize as Pollux. You're a little disturbed at maybe Pollux is just letting you answer their call if you want, knowing you've had a rough day, but you also recognize that it's Pollux really wanting to talk to you. Right.
I feel strongly that I would like to have a conversation with Pollux as well.
So you answer it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
and I would say that Kaster actually answers it somewhat exasperated, like trying to start the conversation, roller coaster, dragonflies, cups, and then
just a whipping octopus.
Yeah.
Right. So when Pollux comes on, Pollux is almost like you hear. It's a tone of voice that is very familiar. It's familiar to you. It is Pollux doing its best to kind of placate and recognize that you've had a long day. Hey, honey. But it's also there is a situation developing, unfortunately, that may need our attention shortly. And it's Pollux displays an image for you, which Bill would be a great time to play that image now. And as it materializes, you see that is an image of the sun that is sort of moving. I think what we were displaying for you is sort of a still shot, but a very obvious solar flare occurring and developing right now. But it looks very strange and odd in that it is very loopy and focused. And Pollux says, "This is approximately where we are." I'm mathing right now. 1 light hour out from us, towards the sun. So this is about an hour old image. It appears that there's a solar flare that is, strangely enough, directed in the path of where we are going to be in a couple days, and it is emerging now.
I'm not fighting the sun.
And I'm not fighting the sun. That is where we're going to wrap up for today. So we can go outside and see the meteor shower. Thank you for joining us for the Trappist Transfer, an Eclipse Phase homebrew campaign produced by Critical Missfits Entertainment. You can find us on YouTube as well as wherever you get your audio podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, etc. And be sure to subscribe and rate us wherever you listen. If you like what you've heard, be sure to check out our other show, the Terra Sentia series, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after Thanksgiving on Twitch, as well as on YouTube and iTunes. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you to our patrons on Patreon. Goodbye, and we're not fighting the sun.
Good night.